The home of champions. Home of the five-time national champion Miami Hurricanes. The back-to-back Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. The three-time NBA champion Miami Heat. Miami Hurricanes basketball. And now, the new home of the two-time World Series winner Miami Marlins.
Powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
This update is brought to you by Doral Kia. Spell us your Presito Doral Kia. Visit us at DoralKia.com. Starting with the Heat will be in Charlotte for a win or go home play-in game. Tip-off is at 7:30, and the game can be heard on 104.3 FM. Over to the Panthers, who beat the Rangers 3-2. The Cats will wrap up their season when they host Detroit tomorrow night. And the Marlins took game one of their series with the Braves 10-4. Game two of 3 is tonight with the first pitch at 7:15 from Truist Park in Atlanta. And the game can be heard on 560 AM. Joe, good morning, my friend.
All right, Woody, good morning, bud, and good morning, everybody gets up early and getting ready to rock and roll early in the morning. As you get older, I guess we're all finding out it's a little bit harder to sleep. I don't know what the hell I'm going through, man. I never thought a normal night of rest we get. I thought later in life, like I never realized that. You know, my dad used to get up early. And, man, when do I get up so early? Now I get it, man. I don't need an alarm clock. I'm ready to go. Hey,
do you got this thing going on at your place? It's mating season for this certain type of bird.
No,
they're going nuts in our backyard.
Oh no, we don't have.
Yeah,
that.
all the neighbors have been talking about it. So apparently, there's a lot of like bird banging going on.
I didn't know about the bird banging. I do know like that, sometimes I notice we'll go back in the pool and the birds will attack during.
Wow!
During it's
really?
The babies are all born and they're in the nest and
you've been attacked in your own backyard.
Yes, and apparently they think so. That's the only thing I've noticed. And it's not like they just come down low at you with letting you have it a little bit.
You look very threatening for those.
Well, listen, they don't have to worry about me. I don't want to mess with them. Hey,
it's nuts out in our backyard, though, man. Those things.
All right,
they're screeching and banging, and
you be careful.
All night.
Maybe we'll get you and your wife. Help. Maybe it'll help with the situation at home a little bit.
Yeah,
kind of get
us in
give
the
hint a little bit. Hey,
thanks for that.
Hey, Veronica, do you hear that?
Yeah.
Does it mean anything to you? How about
season?
Yeah. love making, man. Hey, so anyway, we've got the game, Woody, tonight. Heat and Hornets playing. Here we go again, 10 versus 9 in Charlotte. So I tell you what, Bam, everybody goes to Bam, and Bam pretty much at this point in his life and the amount of money he's made and what he's done and playing on the Olympic teams. And he says, as clearly the best player on this team, he says pretty much, hey, man, we should be better. And, and he gets on guys and outsiders say something. He defends the guys. But Bam says, man, we got too much experience to be in this situation. And I would say to him, Bam, you got a really good coach. You just finished up 82 games. There might be a little bit more than we've got too much experience. Yeah, you got a lot of experience. You got a lot of guys who played basketball, but do you have a lot of really good players? Do you play well together? Do you have a good system together? And the answer would be no. Do you have that number one guy? No, you don't. Number one guy, I'm not talking about defensively. I know Bam can, know how good he is. Always a top 5 defensive player in the league. Always. No, he could up there and going to get votes for defensive player of the year every year. But when you step back and you look at a guy that can really score late, really thought, all right, fourth quarter, let me take this game over. And I can name guys from 38 years old in the league that can still do it, like Kevin Durant, to some of the young guns that are in this league that score. And we don't have any of those guys. Not one. We got some 20-point guys, 3 of them. Honestly, I don't trust any of the 3 of them. to take over for a series and dominate. Tyler's had his moments. I bragging about Tyler. He had a game he had a couple weeks ago, and just everything. Did a little bit of everything you teach. Going to the basket with both hands, the floater that he's added since he's been here, hitting open jumpers, can create his own shot, the stuff he can do inside and outside. But saying all that, he plays 30-something games. And he gets picked on in a big way defensively. He just does. And by the way, when I watch national games, they bring it up every time. The color analyst for whatever game they're playing on NBC or ESPN, Amazon Prime, they always bring it up. They have it in their notes when somebody goes to work and they take Tyler to the basket. And listen, man, there are a lot of guys who don't play defense in the NBA. Some try harder than others. But, yeah, man, when you look at this, we just don't have the big-time score. And I started just, stepping back and looking at our teams in general. The Panthers obviously have great chemistry and a great system put in for them. But I got to tell you, man, you can try hard. You can talk about experience. You can talk about everybody likes everybody and all the things that you like good locker room, good clubhouse. I heard that last night too with the Marlins after their win. Like, guys love playing together, which gives us a chance every night. Well, let me tell you what gives you a chance every night. When you got good players. I mean, hey, man, whether we're talking about football, or anything else, we can talk about all these things, experience and all things. Do you have really good players? The Panthers, Barkov, Kachuk, Reinhardt, Bennett, Marchand, Seth Jones, Verhage. That's how you go to Stanley Cup finals 3 years in a row. With most of those guys or all of them healthy, that's how you get to 3 finals and win 2 of them. LeBron, Dwayne, and Bosch, and then the supporting cast. But you don't get there without the big 3. You don't. So anyway, I just love when everybody's got this, man, we got too much experience. That was a new one, experience. How about we got too much talent? So anyway, I just get a kick out of all that. And of course, we got all the talk with the draft, and we got a bunch of draft stuff kind of fell in. We got a lot of people come on in the same days. We try to, when we plan stuff, try to spread it out with the draft, the first round of the NFL draft next Thursday. What are we, about 9 days away now, man? That thing's right around the corner, and we'll be talking about the Dolphins are going to do. And so we got some Mike Renner going to join us from CBS, does a real nice job of breaking stuff down. Brian Baldinger is going to join us. So we got a lot of stuff this morning that we're going to jump on here and get rolling with. But this whole thing about look at competition and chemistry and all those things are wonderful. Omar's got a. I got to tell you, I really do. And I want to say this. I like Omar a lot. I do. I like Omar a lot. So Omar, he's really popular. He is. Social media as popular as anybody we have.
Yeah, ready to rip him, Omar.
Well, I'm just getting ready to
You're saying a lot of nice stuff.
It's a head scratcher, yeah.
About the rip.
Yeah.
All right.
So anyway, you got an article, and I like where he is on his stuff, and he's got. So here we are 9 days before, and he's back on this. This team's always been afraid of competition. You go, what's that? At quarterback, we're afraid of competition, and somehow he tried to tie it in. This is why we've been soft for years, and I'm like, the quarterback competition that you're not happy with. And by the way, as soon as you get a big contract, or as soon as you got your number one guy, or you think whether we think it's their number one guy or not, they thought it was their number one guy. If we're talking about the guy they just had, the accurate thrower, that on time and all those things, and got Tua. What do you think? Tua's going to have competition? The only competition is get a backup ready because there's a good chance he's going to get injured, or, the concussion issue, which falls under, I guess, injuries. But this thing about like he wants Quinn Ewers and Malik Willis and draft a guy in the first 2 days of the draft. What, just reach for a guy in the second or third round? Or, I mean, if you like a guy and you really like him with all the needs you have, that you want to make one of your first 7 picks a quarterback at this point, after a lot of you wanted Quinn Ewers, they like Malik Willis. Let's have that as a competition. Everybody knows probably how it's going to work out, but let's do it. Malik, somebody's got to go with the first group. Let Malik go. Quinn, you want to add another guy outside of the 3 rounds, 4, 5, or you like somebody a lot. But this thing about there ain't gonna be no. You think there's gonna be open competition? Soon as Malik Willis got $46 million guaranteed for 2 years, what'd you think? Do you think there's gonna be an open competition? You think the first move the GM and head coach make together is bringing a guy from their camp to this team? How open do you think that competition's going to be?
They already say he's going to be the starter,
right,
for the most part?
Yes.
They actually they said he's going to be the day one starter.
Well, they said that, that they want everybody to compete and all that stuff, but they expect, and let me just tell you, when they call you in before they make a trade to let you know they're getting rid of your number 1 receiver, they're going to trade him. Does that sound like an open competition to you? Did they call Quinn Ewers? They call a couple guys from college. Hey, just want to let you know if we draft you, because it's going to be an open competition, we want to let you know. Come on, man. I get it, and we got to get our last seconds in and who we like, and that's what we do, man, where it's all good for business, for the draft party next Thursday night. Hell, I'm going to be there drinking tequila. I hope everybody will show up, and we'll have a good time and watch this thing together from the 11th pick and to the 40th pick to the 30th pick and all the other picks that we're going to have both Thursday and Friday. But, yeah, so I read it sometimes, and I know Omar's a little stuck on this competition. The Dolphins have always feared competition. Hey, can you do me a favor and give these 2 guys a chance, the GM and the head coach and everything? Can we give them a chance before you throw them in with a history lesson of what you perceive as scared of quarterback competition outside of Matt Moore and Ryan Tannehill, which he did bring that one up. But I just that. And honestly, the one about South Beach will tear your team apart, and Miami Beach will tear your team apart, and downtown Miami, and then if you're going to a second market of tear your team apart, Fort Lauderdale's got great clubs up there. Beautiful women everywhere. Clubs stay open late. It's just like, look at, man, like, what do you think? We're just drafting a bunch of guys that are going, can't wait to get my signing bonus so I can play a little football, but really focus on babes, and everywhere I'm going. I just don't think you're giving players enough credit for why they're here. I think guys are more grown up and mature a lot more than when we played. A lot better. Of course, they're making better business decisions. They're making a hell of a lot more money, which, by the way, probably we should have focused a little more on it too. But I just – he got somehow tied in with a quarterback competition and this team being soft. And I was like, I'm not sure what one has to do with the other, the quarterback. You have to help me out. Quarterback, what, handing off? Is there a harder way to hand off, or is there a throw you can make that will help your I'm not sure. You want the quarterback to take off and run up the middle for 4 yards on 3rd and 4 out of the shotgun? I just yeah, man. Omar, they got going on Jeff Ireland yesterday. He decided somehow Jeff Ireland was if he was so good, why didn't we just keep him? Huh? I mean, that guy, first of all, Hard Knocks, he didn't do himself. We talk about the head coach not doing him any favors being on Hard Knocks the last time. Oh, Smoking Joe. How about your GM? He didn't look very prepared for it either. When they found out, hey, owner said we're going to be on Hard Knocks. He wants to be on it. Thinks it'd be a good marketing tool. Wasn't the best idea. I'd be the first to tell you. That team wasn't exactly real stable. But then you hear guys, there's some of the stuff about talking about the receiver position is one of the greatest classics of all time. And Jeff Ireland now owns that, and it will never go away. And he's tried to defend it, that it was taken out of context. I'm like, what are you talking about? You said it. You asked a question by one of the best in the business of all time, Peter King. Peter King was here, going around. He used to go around the NFL. Legendary Peter King. I can't believe my man actually stopped work and said, I'm walking away and I was like, he'll be back. And so far, he hadn't been back. But that was classic stuff. Anyway, we got a lot of stuff to get to here this morning. I got into we got to get, everybody needs better players, man. Everybody needs better players. And the Panthers are a great team to work off of. If you just kind of look at where they're all ranked and where they've been ranked, from Barkov and Kachuk and Reinhardt, Marchand, I mean, those are big gamers, man. Big game guys. Bennett, I mean, they show up, man. They've been in the biggest games in the Olympics, national games. They're good. And we got a bunch of them on that team. And when they're healthy, you see what happens. This year they didn't make playoffs. Most of them are out right now, as we got one game left. Anyway, we've got to go to break here this morning. We do have a lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff to get to here, and everybody all over the board and on what we should do with our top 7 picks, which is good, man. You all know, and everybody's got a favorite guy, and there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with it. I don't know if your board's going to match up with our general managers or not. I don't even try. One year, I was up doing an interview before, in the old days when it was a lot looser, and they had me up on and back in Davie. So I went up there with my camera guy, and we we're going to get our 10 minutes to talk to GM and get the generic talk one-on-one. And it might have been the head coach. So we're up there, and of course I was doing the coach's show too. So they put me up in the room, and they forgot to shut the curtain on their big board. This is a day or two before the draft. So we're sitting there waiting for them to come in, and they just send us in this room. Nobody looked. They just set up in this room. And when the communications person came in at the time, they never looked up. So I was with my camera guy. I'm not sure if it's Ross or D-Rod. I look up, I go, holy crap. They got the board. It's all set up. And they didn't put the curtain. So I had the chalkboard, but they had the curtain over the front of it so it could shut for all information, so that when they had these interviews, the curtains would shut. They literally pulled the curtains over those boards. And it was wide open. And I was just sitting there going, and it's never, obviously, you can't even get close to it. It's like Fort Knox now, but you look around and you're like, holy smokes. I go, dude, look at this. This is unbelievable. So it was like 5 minutes, nobody came in. And I'm like, I was stealing stuff right and left on what they see, guys they liked on the board and their tier of players. It was pretty funny. It was one of those moments that will never, ever, ever happen again. I know. Hey, we got to go to break. We got a lot of stuff lined up for you, a lot of stuff to get to. With all the news coming out, we've got a lot of University of Miami stuff, the Ruben Bain stuff. We found out, by the way, no surprise, the NFL knew about everything. Everybody thought, oh my gosh, poor Ruben Bain. Everybody knew about the Ruben Bain. The question was, he was asked by all the teams, and the word on what he said to him, which we'll never know, and we got secondhand. Some people said he didn't really want to talk that much about it because he lost a friend. Others said he did a nice job of trying to explain it the best he could. I don't think it's going to affect things a lot. Some think he'll drop a few spots. I don't know. And if he drops, I don't think it'll be because of that. It might be because of this arm thing that some people are hung up on. But he is. I don't say much about guys unless I know him going back to high school. Unless Ruben Bain, like at nighttime, turns into a different bandit or something. That guy is solid as a rock. I've seen his videos when I was with Jason Taylor of Ruben Bain on a Sunday night at a charity event, and Jason goes, look at this. Look who just called me. So he called him back, said, what are you doing? He's got him on FaceTime. and he says, "Oh, hey, I'm at UM. I'm working on those new moves we've been talking about. Tell me how they look." I was like, "Hey, man, it's Sunday. Why don't you go home? We're going to work on this tomorrow." He goes, "I want to work on it tonight." Amazing mom and dad. Nothing bad to say about Ruben Bain. Hey, we got a lot of stuff to get to, but first, I do want to talk about your South Florida Chevy dealers this morning. Man, I'll tell you right now, the truck family is calling your name. You need a new truck. You need something durable. All of a sudden, your truck's not what it was, and it's just beat up and old. You looking for something new, you need to stop by your South Florida Chevy dealers and check out the legendary Chevy Silverado. Boy, I'll tell you right now, man, it's like we make a truck absolutely perfect for you. If you're up early this morning, you probably do a lot of work out of the back of that. That's how you make a living. Out of the back of that truck, that's a big part of what you do all day, 7 days a week. You may need the Silverado 1500. You may need the powerful Silverado HD. Whatever it is, along with the family and still enjoying your weekends when you do have time off to take those wave runners around or that boat to go out fishing with your family or just a little fun on the water, you can't go wrong with your South Florida Chevy dealers and a Silverado and a Colorado truck. We make a truck. It's almost feels like it was made for you, man. It's perfect for what you need, and we got it. Hey, not only that, but when it comes to SUV family and a Suburban or a Tahoe or Traverse or an Equinox, I can go on and on all day, but hey, stop by your South Florida Chevy dealers. 14 dealerships throughout South Florida. Boy, I'll tell you what, we got a deal for you. We want you to stop by, take some test drives, and fall in love today at your South Florida Chevy dealer.
If it's going down, you know we on it. If it's going down, you know we on it.
seed. You're going to be on the road. If you win both, they can win both. Then you'd open up with the number 1 seed in the East. That would be the Detroit Pistons. So that's where you are right now. And Panthers just looking to end it as quickly as possible. Got a win last night, 3-2. But really, it's right now, if we're to be honest, besides all the experience the guys that you're watching play right now are getting, they would like to get all those guys I mentioned we started this game all back healthy, 100% for Marchand, and get them for a full season. Yeah, we had a little bit of Kachuk at the start and the finish. We had a little bit of Seth Jones at the start and the finish, and a lot of banged up guys that have been out a while that have had surgery. So clean it up, and we'll run it back next year with just one more game left. But I got to tell you what, man, they still show up and still trying to win games and have actually played really well at home here recently with a lot of wins. All right, so we got all that going on, and then on top of that, Marlins last night take care of the Braves, get their record to 9-8 with a 10-4 win. Finally got the bats going. They were a little bit quiet in Detroit. Augustine Ramirez with 3 hits, a home run, a 4 RBI night for him. Liam Hicks also had 3 hits and 3 RBI. He's having an unbelievable season so far. One of the top RBI guys in baseball right now. 16-hit night for the Marlins, who got the bats rolling a little bit. And then we got that other thing going on, the draft and everything around it that makes it so popular, especially. I don't know. Listen, man, for us this year, it's not just the first 2 picks you have. On Thursday night, which is a big night, does big numbers, big ratings. Like, honestly, for not being a sporting event, it does ridiculous numbers with all the TV that they're going to be on. What's in the NFL Network, ESPN, and I want to say ABC may have it on as well. One of the networks has it on there. But it does unbelievable, and it's amazing because it's not a game. You're literally just waiting to see who your team's going to take in the first round. And some teams, I think there's 4 teams that have 2 first-round picks, and Dolphins are one of them with the 11th and the 40th pick in the draft. But Friday's just as important, man, for this team. Now that we've seen what's going on, and we had to clean it a little bit, pay off some debt, and get back, which has not left us a lot of money. Making this draft the way you should do it anyway is with the draft, and we got a lot of drafts, seven in the first 94 picks, and 4 of them are in the 3rd round. So you could tell that our guys really value the 3rd round pick, and I don't know if we're going to have any more. I hope not. I hope the guys, I hit this leadership thing hard yesterday because I believe in it. I think it's really important. And they're going, well, if they get the right guy, if they get the right picks for him, just let him go. And I'm like, yeah, but having a couple good veterans on the team. I mean, good guys. And some of the best leaders on this team are a lot of times, not always, but a lot of those guys are your best leaders 7 days a week around everywhere. At training camp to on your time off, they're just the right guys. They're the right guys, say the right things to you, live in the right way, like to have fun, but guys you can really look up to. And one of the ways you look up to guys is because they're also some of the best players on the team. That makes a big difference. And when you look at your middle linebacker, Jordan Brooks, you look at Aaron Brewer, and you look at Devon Achane, they're all, last year, were basically all 3 all-pro guys. They were elite at what they did. And I understand they have value, lots of value. And they were the 3 best players on the team last year. They were the 3 best players. I don't even know if you could debate it if some hardcore Dolphin fan went, well, I'm going to put this guy in there. Okay, but in reality, when the league talks, and who played the best at their positions, those were the 3 best guys. I'm not saying down the road or potentially. I'm talking what they did last year. Our running back, our middle linebacker, and our center were 3 best players on the football team. And we like to keep them. Two of them, actually all three of them, play at three of the cheaper positions in football. Those top guys don't get paid like the best pass rushers. They don't get paid like the top wide receivers. They don't get paid by the top cover corners do. So hopefully these guys can work it out and get deals done. And we go to camp with those guys with new contracts, basically guaranteed money, and we roll from there. And they'll have a big influence. They'll have an influence no matter how great a coach you are. Of the 24 or 25 coaches we have on our staff, or 22, whatever the number is right now, you can be a great coach, but leadership on the team is just you can't be downstairs with those guys. Hell, they don't want you around all the time. Last thing players want to see is coaches trying to hang around and be one of the guys in the locker room, and like that. There comes a point where the guys are just going to be together most of the time, and you need the right guys down there. You need the right guys, and I'm not talking about guys who report to the coach to give them, become the rats instead of the leaders. That doesn't work. But guys that are really good, that have been through it, been through the highs and lows, playing at a high level. Why are you playing at a high level? What do you do? What can I learn from this guy so I can be like this guy, have a chance? Who's the guy picks you up when you just had a crappy game? Because they're going to happen. And say, hey, man, this is what you need to do. And a guy stays after practice and says, hey, man, let's work on this thing with you. There's just – a player says to another player, there's just a different kind of respect. And I'm not taking anything away from coaches, man, and putting in the system and coaching them up on technique and building their confidence up, all those things. So important. I'm not questioning that with coaches. But the impact's made by veteran players. And we've got some good ones. I just hope. I'm not saying you need 20 of them. Hell, we didn't have 20. We had a bunch of frauds on that, half of them on that what was that thing called? That board of, what was the board called up there where all those guys met? I was cracking up going, really? You're on there? So you're going to sit and tell them what you think, the way you're playing? Like, come on, man.
The council,
or whatever it was. I don't know what Mike called it. But
it was a leadership council.
Leadership council, yeah. You just got to be a good player to be on that, obviously. And I just thought Mike got a little carried away. Like half the team was up there. Well, let's do this today. Okay. Hey, well, I think we need – I tell you what I think. If they would have had me up there, I think your ass needs to play better. It would help. While you're worried about all the other guys and what's going on.
It's a big council.
Anyway,
people.
We got a new sheriff in town. Don't worry about that, brother.
No council anymore?
No. Oh, listen, I'm not saying you don't have – a lot of teams do have that where they have a group of guys and they meet and, they go over stuff. It's –
it's interesting. Like we hear this player-led team thing. We hear that a lot, right? I think Mike's thing was more extreme.
Yes.
But I do think you have to let guys kind of do their thing, don't you?
A lot more today than 40 years ago. I agree. I'm not disagreeing with you. I agree with you, Woody. No.
The whole leadership thing, like, especially professional sports.
I don't think you can ask them if you want. So there's some thing. It's funny. Like, hey, man, we're a little tired. Because our guys did that. All the guys, they're doing the same stuff we did. Like, man, our legs are tired. What about a day off? Except nobody had the guts to tell our guy that, because he would say, I got an idea, because I'm not going to change practices. I'm not going to change the way I've done. In case you didn't know, 8 or 9 years ago, we went undefeated doing it the way I do it, and we practice even more with those guys. And I'll tell you the same thing I've been saying since I've been a coach. If you want to rest your legs and your legs are tired, stay off them when you go home at night. Stay off your legs. Stay home. And if you do go out, why don't you put a little curfew on yourself? That was shoes, man. This guy caved. This guy's like, all right, hey, guys, couple extra days off. And all right, we're going to change practice today, our guys. Now, I also understand there's sports science involved in this stuff where, certain amount of running's not good, and miles per hour starts to slow down after a couple months and all that stuff. And again, I'm not telling you the old way's the way to do it in today's game. I'm not. I am smarter than that. I'm not very smart, but I'm smart enough to know that the old way of running you in the ground and, it just doesn't work. Doesn't work. I hope we practice harder than we did last year and the year before. It's just weird for me. I got to tell you the weirdest thing, and Woody and I have said this because we're together when we did this. It is weird in the last couple years to go from a Dolphin practice and then go down to University of Miami and watch Mario Cristobal practice with those college guys. I ain't gonna lie to you. And then everybody else that did both while they were down there go, hey, I'm down here. Let me go ahead and go down to University of Miami. I got invited down to watch a practice. Holy.
Well, that was a spring practice, the one we just watched, and that thing was tougher than anything.
He gets after.
Yeah.
They're getting
that
after.
was tougher than anything we've seen over.
Said
Miami
the only
Gardens.
way to speed this process up for these young guys, these 4- and 5-star guys, is let them go against our best pass rushers we have, and they'll go against their own guys. But also, when we put them in that starting lineup, they got to see what it's going to look like. Anyway, we got to go to break, Woody. I'm running super late here again this morning.
You're on fire this morning, man.
Thanks, man. Got a lot of stuff.
A lot of coffee.
Stuff. Oh yeah, got started early. I opened that Dunkin' Donuts store 4 a.m.
You got
I opened the store. Though. The GM, the general manager, and I opened the store together.
And you got the apps. You're good, but you just got to let Omar's getting under your skin a little bit here.
No, I don't care. I just don't understand. We're getting ready. And look I understand. We're all trying to get creative for stuff here in the last 6 or 7 days. And sometimes you go, okay, now you went too far. Now you went a little too far. Because we all want to help. We're all trying to help our general manager. John Eric Sullivan, I'm sure he just turned everything off. He doesn't want to hear anybody's opinion on anything. And, we all got our favorite guys. Hell, honestly, Stephen Ross is sitting up there in Palm Beach somewhere, and he's got a favorite guy. He's up there going, hey, did you see that guy from Michigan? I wonder if we like him. So, anyway, let's go to break here. We are a little bit late. Hey, Woody, before we do, though, I got to take a second this morning. I want to tell you about Recovery Unplugged, Dr. Barry, the great staff that he's put together, and talked to a lot of guys going through some hard times right now out there. Yeah, things happen in your life, man. And when you have them, whether it's a reset you're trying to get through after a, breakup in a relationship, you lose your job, things just not going well with your family, and you're in a funk. And maybe doing the wrong things to try to get out of your funk right now. It's okay. That's why we got Recovery Unplugged. Dr. Barry and his staff do a great job on your comeback, because this is going to be your comeback season when you go to Recovery Unplugged. Recovery Unplugged Behavioral Health is here to help you with a beautiful mental health residential program right here in Fort Lauderdale. They've helped over 20,000 people nationwide with expert care, music-based healing, and innovative treatments like ketamine therapy for depression, anxiety, and trauma. Make this the year you put yourself first. Call 954-737-4508 or visit recoveryunplugged.com. New year, new you, Recovery Unplugged, heal out loud.
Text WQAM on the Kansas Toyota text line.
the new shirt. And
You're back to your tennis gear.
yeah, yeah. I actually sold everybody on walking down there. Give me a hard time. But, oh, now you got a Masters shirt on. And I went, yeah, I got back in the middle of the night. I took a private plane. They're going, you're kidding. Yeah, I'm kidding. Of course I'm kidding. It's an expensive-ass trip. Of course I didn't
They believed you, though.
I got them for a minute, and then they realized that.
Thought you were a private plane guy. For
Yeah,
a
I thought I
second
went private plane, and yeah, really trying to show off here a little bit. Hey, so anyway, we got a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff out there, man. And honestly, a lot of people care. We keep talking about next Thursday, the first round, the NFL draft, and obviously, we can say whatever we want, but we're doing a rebuild. I don't know what else to call it. We cleaned it out. And now we got to build it back up. We cleaned out a lot of dead money. And honestly, outside of, I don't know, one or two guys that I would have loved to have been able to keep in a perfect world, I had no problem with some of those guys they got rid of. And some of them, I had no problem whatsoever. Matter of fact, I wasn't the only one. Might have done a little alcohol drinking celebration. Some of those guys were gone. They had to go. And so anyway, but going forward, man, I hope they keep the guys they have because the good ones happen to be at a good age. Two of them are 28, your center and your linebacker. Your running back's 24. And honestly, Zach Sieler's now 30 years old. I still think Zach's a really good player. It wasn't a coincidence in the second half of the season when all the young guys started getting better that he was playing next to the three drafted rookies on the defensive line. As soon as they started playing better in the second half of the season, he started playing better. And his numbers started to really dominate like we're used to. But early on, man, it was a lot of guys next to him. He didn't have great neighbors. He did not have great neighbors. And so we started getting on, people were getting on him, and he wasn't playing the same. And so I just think he adds a lot, man, because he stuck with it. He never got down. I talk to Zach every week, and he goes, they're getting better. He looked at me and goes, they're getting better, Joe. We just got to hang in there with it. And this after, his numbers, you look, and he didn't have much. And we're used to this guy having 70 tackles and, being real active and tackles for loss and sacks and pressures and all the things that Zach Sieler's done. And I think he's, looks like he's going to be here, and he should, but I put him right in there in the top of the leadership. He may spend more time with his guys than anybody because he's constantly with those three guys during camp. Everybody got to see it. Every media member happened, most of it by us. When they're standing there, when they had their rest periods, he's talking about arms, and you could see him leverage and things he worked on. And those guys all wanted to learn. They all want one thing about that class of guys. They weren't powders. They wanted to get better. They knew they were all going to be playing at some point. They wanted to learn and get better, and especially those defensive tackles. Like, hey man, you're all we have. It's one other veteran, and it's you guys. So you're going to play lot of snaps from everything. So that leads me to a list of guys that are really, really important for them to make a big jump this year. I got 4 guys on my list. 4 guys on the list of guys that we need to get more out of this year. And it has nothing to do with our general manager. He had nothing to do with it. There are guys that were here that are still young guys that have played a lot of football that now have to make a big jump. To really help this team, we need them to make a big, big jump. And hopefully they'll be able to do that. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that in the 7:00 hour. Give you a list of 4 guys. 4 guys. Now there's more. I hope more end up, being frontline guys and really good players. But there's 4 guys. 4 guys. One's Chop Robinson. So that's a teaser. That's a no-brainer. Everybody's going, duh, as my kids used to say to me. That drive you nuts, Woody. Woody, wait till the kids and you say something to them, they go, duh.
Yeah, I'm not at that stage yet.
No, that's usually that's a girl thing.
I think
that's
is.
more like
it's not like a teenage girl thing. Yeah.
Oh man, duh. Oh my God, duh. And they set it up with that. Oh my God, duh. What?
Yeah, you got a lot of girls around.
Oh man, strong personality. Surrounded by strong personality females.
That's you saying that, not me.
Just beat me up.
Yep.
Woody, you're the best. You stay out of all the drama, man. I try to pull you into my drama, and you go, "No, I'm not touching it.
No,
I'm not touching it, Joe Rose."
We got F1 coming up. I got only nice things to say about your family.
Yeah. Well, that one's a fireball.
Yeah.
She's a fireball. There's no question about it. Boy, I'll say something that comes out a little bit wrong. Get ready, man. Here come the torpedoes. They're running. Hey, we got 7 o'clock hour coming up here. More stuff to get to here with the Dolphins. A lot of stuff. And the University of Miami. They're going to be a big part of this NFL draft, especially the first couple of days. We'll talk about that as well coming up here. But first, I want to talk about Chill Zone. Oh, my gosh. My house is going to stay cool from now on with Chill Zone air conditioning. Thank you. And I want to thank the president of Chill Zone Air Conditioning. The president is Melissa De Verona, family owned and operated. She's the owner and president, and she and her family have been doing this for a long time. She came in, had her on the radio, spent some time with her, and we just talked. And she knows, hey, listen, our business has a terrible reputation, being late, never on time, come out, have no clue how to fix something, give bad information. Hey, you need a new air conditioning. I just got this a couple years ago. It's shot. We need to get you a new one. You call somebody else. They go, no, it's fine. This one, we can fix this. $200 you fix. And you're like, well, what the hell, man? And it just gets frustrating. And the costs, some are real expensive. Why is this one so expensive? And it just drives you nuts. And then you think something's covered. And, oh, no. You have to pay for that. That's not under your warranty. Oh, my gosh, man. Jeez. It's new rules every day. Well, if you're frustrated with the air conditioning companies you've been using over the last few years, I want you to try Chill Zone Air Conditioning and tell me you don't notice a difference in the service, the people, the quality of work, and the prices and everything else you get with it. If you're ready to make a change, it's not there yet. We haven't hit that hot weather, but it's coming. I want you to try Chill Zone Air Conditioning. Stay chill with Chill Zone Air Conditioning. Call 786-378-2778. Now, I know you didn't write that down. Just go to chillzoneac.com. Easy to remember because that's what I want your house to be, is a chill zone. And you can't go wrong. Great people doing great work all over South Florida with you, whether you need a new air conditioning unit, whether you need service on the one you have, or you need duct cleaning or anything else. Hey, Chill Zone's always going to be there for you.
WQAM broadcast.
3.
This update is brought to you by Doral Kia. You always pay less than your Paisito at Doral Kia. Visit us at Doral Kia, DoralKia.com. Starting with the heat will be in Charlotte for a win or go home playing game. Tip-off is at 7:30, and the game can be heard on 104.3 FM. Over to the Panthers, who beat the Rangers 3-2. The Cats will wrap up their season when they host Detroit tomorrow night. And to the Marlins, who took game 1 of their series with the Braves 10-4. Game 2 of 3 is tonight with the first pitch at 7:15 from Truist Park in Atlanta, and the game can be heard on 5:60 a.m. Joe, we will have Marlins tickets to give away later in the show as well.
Like that, Woody.
So
love giving
all week long.
Love giving those away.
Hockey night coming up.
That's right, hockey
This,
night at the
weekend.
baseball game.
And we got
Hockey
basketball
night.
jerseys on Sunday.
All right.
That's the one.
Basketball too. Okay.
I'm considering making it down for.
All right. Well, listen.
Those are sweet.
You got a little guy that loves to go to sporting events, man. Go and enjoy yourself. You went to a hockey game last night.
We went
right?
last night. We had a good time
Good
out
stuff,
there.
man.
Yep.
Well, listen, Woody, we got a lot of stuff going on here. We got a play-in game tonight. It's weird, man. I know.
No, it's not. It's not weird.
No, it's just.
It's an annual tradition now, Joe.
Well, how many years we had the play-in now? 4 or 5?
I want to say we've been in it every year that it's existed, right?
We've been in every year. Did we? All right.
I mean, it sure feels
Whatever
like
it is, we haven't been in. Apparently, we have not been in the top 6 spots for a while now. We haven't been a top 6 team in the regular season for a while.
Started with the bubble. So it started 2019, 2020 season, the restart in the bubble.
That's the first year of it?
Yeah. Because
we
actually talked about this the other day.
We went
Remember
to finals, so the first year we weren't in the play-in.
Well, we made it in the play-in to the finals.
Oh, we
a few
did.
years
Shoot,
later.
that's right. We played in all the way up.
Yeah.
God, I forgot. You're right. So we do know a thing or two. We are veterans and one of the best playing teams in the NBA, which is nothing to be proud about because Spo starts every year going, our goal is to not be a play-in team and get one of those top 6 playoff spots. We believe we have enough talent. We got Bam coming out, and again, God bless Bam. And I want to keep Bam. Bam is one I still want to keep, and a lot of you are going, if I get the right guy, screw him, Joe. He's out too. We'll trade him. Bam comes out and says, we've got too much experience to be in this situation. Not really, Bam. Played 82 games. 82 games doesn't lie. I don't care who's in and out of the lineup. And I know we got a lot of guys miss a lot of games, including 2 20-point scores. Your 2 guys who were supposed to be a big part of it, yes, they have missed a lot of playing time. So now you got to go on the road, win tonight in Charlotte to keep it alive. Then you'll play the loser of the 76ers and the Magic game. And then if you win that, which, by the way, you can win both games, we have seen nights where we go, wow, all right, maybe we're going to get something going. If you have a couple of those nights, you put it together tonight and Friday, then you get to open a 1 versus 8 seed against the Detroit Pistons. Detroit basketball. God, those were fun times. Those were good times with good basketball teams. Anyway, so we got that. And
4th straight year, by the way. They've been in it every year.
I did know it's 4 straight. I just
so every single year.
I was hoping you were going to tell me the
with
plan.
the exception of that bubble deal.
Yeah, the bubble deal. We went through.
That's okay.
That was Jimmy was selling all that coffee. Had the whole place buying his coffee.
Wait, man, we liked Jimmy back then, okay? Relax before you.
We did like Jimmy. That thing turned sour.
How good was he in that? Yeah, well, yes, it did, but we liked Jimmy for a while until we didn't. Until he didn't like us.
All right,
right?
Enough of Jimmy. You got a
but
Jimmy love affair. You don't get anything said.
Is he coming back, by the way?
He's coming back to see you.
Here.
You come back where? For Golden State?
Yeah, he's been teasing a comeback.
Good.
And he's got that same doctor Aaron Rodgers has.
Hey, good. We can see how that goes. See how he shows up. Especially he doesn't have Steph Curry at 100%. See how that looks. He'll disappear.
Boy,
He'll stand over in a corner and
throw
the ball to everybody.
That whole generation.
That Golden State team's got no shot. Listen, that Golden State thing is
no. But look, you got Steph, LeBron. I mean, a lot of these guys are at the end of the road here.
They are.
Man.
What's Steph now? 38. I think Steph's got that 38. He's got that Kevin Durant 38 thing
starting to stack up, right?
I'll tell you what, man. Kevin Durant. his moves aren't, listen, as crisp and, as quick as they used to be, but he can still.
Yeah, he's still 9 feet tall. He's
still got
arms.
Gorgeous shot.
Yep.
Still got that edge to him that makes him
maybe
still
the best offensive player of all
player.
time. He's in that conversation, right?
He can score. I don't know where you put him.
Fill him up with the best of them.
There's been a lot of great players. I'm staying away from the great players of yesterday
he
and
can
today.
Fill him up with.
He's been great. I agree. Hey, he's been a lot more durable than anybody thought when he was coming out. That's as true. Like 180 pounds, going he'll never be able to stay healthy in today's NBA game. And
how about Wemby has stayed mostly healthy with that?
I do worry about Wemby every time he goes up and he comes down,
and like he's going to break in half.
Yeah, it's like that leg kind of.
Yeah,
but he's had a hell of a year, man. He has taken his game to a different level too.
He's something.
Hey, so I did a little tease here before we went to break, and I didn't forget about a couple guys that they're really counting on here to make a big jump. That you're going to be going into year 2 for 3 of them. And the other guy, as I said, Chop Robinson, now year 3 as a first-round pick. Got to get a lot more than you did last year. First, he didn't play that much because he wasn't very good against the run. He wasn't playing, and he said, hey, I'm not getting to play as much. Jalen's in front of me, and they go, yeah, you're right. You're rotating in. And then he got more playing time. Then he got injured, and he didn't play at all. But there wasn't enough. The stat sheet was too empty for Chop. And, of course, that brings up, well, this is what we got at Penn State. We should have known. So, look, he obviously has got talent. We got to get more out of him. The coaching staff's got to find a way to get more out of him. And then the other guy is Jonas Vainaya. They're going to draft a guy that's going to be a guard. They're going to draft him. The question is, do they switch Jonas Vainaya over to right guard, or do they let him stay at left guard? Again, new coaching staff, going to have different thoughts. He played a lot. I know Bo is all in that he's going to have a breakthrough year and really put it together and take a big jump in his play. He didn't grade out great last year, but he knows that. So there's 2 things going to happen here. Or there's a couple different things. Do they move him to right guard? Do they let him stay at left guard now that he stayed there for the year? And if he's not good enough, they might be drafting with one of their top 2 picks, a guy at that position. And honestly, it would really help out in the bigger picture if he just takes off in year 2 with all that experience. He played every snap last year, man. That guy did not come off the field. And hopefully that experience helps him become a good, solid guard in the National Football League. Right guard, left guard, I don't care. We just need him to be able to start. And then, and I'm guessing the Green Bay way has always been, we'd like to find a guy that can play guard and tackle. And then when we finally put him in, he can help us and be elite or really good at either position, whatever he's needed for. Because there's a good chance that other guard might have to start. And Austin Jackson at right tackle has not been able to stay healthy for a full year. So you can't just go, hey, pencil him in for 17. You got to have another guy ready to go. That's why I think a guard tackle is so important. And I think it's my most important position to start this draft with. Not sexy at a draft party. I've been to draft parties when we've drafted the big guys, and it's not sexy, and you don't get a lot of cheers like you do when you get a wide receiver or a pass rusher or even a corner. The big guys just aren't sexy. But I hope we get one to solidify that offensive line and give our quarterback, Malik Willis, a chance. That's all. The other 2 guys. Kenneth Grant, obviously a first-round pick, had his moments where he played really well. We just got to get more out of him, and he's got to look more first-round dominant this year. That's all. Use his hands better. Was not well coached coming out of college. Was not. Was amazingly, for as good as he was at Michigan, not very well coached until he got here. Austin Clark has coached them up. I expect he's going to play a lot better. And the other guy that played next to him a lot, Jordan Phillips. This is the second Jordan Phillips we've had. This guy has got a chance to be a really good player, in my opinion. And we just need him to grow, man. Because these guys are going to play. They're going to be out there with Zach Sealer. So those are my guys. Those are the guys. Jordan Phillips, a fifth-round pick, but played really well and played a lot early. And he had his growing pains. He got knocked around a little bit. He got knocked around. He got pushed to the side. The first few weeks, if you forgot, we're giving up like 200 yards a game. The first few games of the year, we're like, holy smokes, this is not good. Guys started freelancing and, forgot about their technique and their assignments and just wanted to get there. And, you're getting knocked around by these experienced offensive linemen. And so it was tough for both those guys. But they started playing better, and they stuck with it. So coached by a guy that's really good and two guys that want to be really good. We need them, and I think the Green Bay way is all in on these guys. I got to stop saying that. I told myself I wasn't going to keep doing the Green Bay way stuff. But, this coaching staff would be a big help if we get those guys. Those are my four guys. Those are my four guys that, and wasn't a coincidence, for the highest picks we've had in recent years. Patrick Paul's off that list and already moved on. He's now moving up the ladder. How good am I going to be at left tackle? That's where Patrick Paul is right now. All right, we've got more stuff to get to here. We've got a big show lined up. Kyle Krabs is going to join us, the host of Locked On Fins podcast and NFL analyst for A to Z Sports. Mike Renner is going to join us, CBS Sports, and host of Pushing the Pile podcast. Really good on the draft stuff as well. And Brian Baldinger's back, and he's going to join us later in the show as well. So we got a lot of stuff coming up here. We'll get into the University of Miami guys as well, what round a lot of those guys, who might drop, who do they like. We'll get into all that with some of the University of Miami guys. And everybody's wondering about Ruben Bain with this story coming out 2 days ago, which, by the way, everybody in the NFL knew about it. Everybody at the University of Miami knew about it. And we didn't know about it. We're the only ones that didn't know about it. And usually, by the way, shockingly, we didn't know about it when it happened, right, Woody? That's probably the amazing part. But this isn't something that just happened. And so it's been around, and he's had to do interviews around it just so everybody out there understands that. All right, we've got more stuff to get to. We'll jump on it. Big night for the Heat, trying to keep everything alive. They lose tonight, man. It's done. That's it. They lose to Charlotte, and Charlotte gets hot tonight hitting threes, and they can come home and tell us all about all that experience they have and the culture and all that stuff, because it won't matter. The season will be over. I'm going to talk about Impact Windows. Impact not only windows, doors, and a brand new roof. I want to talk about all that stuff with you. Hurricane season is right around the corner, and Loctite Impact Windows, Doors, and Roofing would love to work with you. How about this? Impact Windows, Hurricane Category 5 rated, withstand 140-mile-per-hour winds when you deal with Loctite. Loctite Impact Windows, Doors, and Roofing provides 100% financing and zero down. Loctite Impact Windows, Doors, and Roofing, no interest, no payments for 1 year, man. I can go on and on about the great work they do, the roofing materials they use, tile, shingle, metal flat. They do it all. They really do. And on top of that, they do repairs, 24/7 roof repairs. You can call anytime there. They'll be ready to go with that part of their staff too. Impact Windows as low as $6 per month per window install, so don't wait for the next storm. They cover all of South Florida. They do all the permits and HOA approvals. Once you sign the contract, they're off and running. They do everything for you. You just kind of get out of the way and let them go. Loctite Impact is a licensed, insured contractor, and they got a great staff ready to help you. And I want to let you know that's important too. Official Dolphins windows and doors partner. And also, don't wait for the next storm. Visit LoctiteImpact.com. Again, LoctiteImpact.com to get more information. Or if you're going old school like I like to talk to people, 954-500-LOCK. That's 954-500-LOCK. They got a great staff ready to answer all your questions and ready to help you.
WQ
All right, welcome back, and good morning to everybody out there. What are we? 9 days away from the draft? Was that officially? Today's Tuesday, not this Thursday, but following Thursday is.
That sounds about right.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
First round of the National Football League, and the Dolphins will be big players Thursday and Friday, both with 5 picks on Friday for round 6.
With the 11th pick
there you
in
go.
the NFL draft, the Miami Dolphins select.
Yeah, Miami Dolphins
That'd
select.
be a big pick, man.
I don't care who it is. We just want to make sure they can play and play at a high level. We need some really good. I know I said this last year too. We need some really good players. We need some guys to, when the year's done, going, man, we got. So that's the problem with last year's draft. And I'm not taking shots today because I still believe there's big upside left. But we left that year last year. We left, and some guys got better, but I still don't know how good that draft class is. I still don't know. 3 defensive linemen, a corner, a safety, an offensive lineman, and a running back, and I don't know how good I don't know how they all had their moments where they had great plays, and they all played a lot. Quarterback, too, I left him out, 7th round, Quinn Ewers. But I truly don't know. Like somebody goes, hey, what do you think of last year's draft class? And I go, well, it played a lot. I mean, they played a lot. And I just go to experience, and experience says they're going to be a lot better in year 2. Question is how much better with all of them, because all of them got playing time, some more than others, but they all got to play. I've never seen a draft class from top to bottom get to play that much. Even your 7th round pick, Quinn Ewers, played a lot. Hell, your defensive tackle, 7th round pick, played a lot from Georgia Tech. So I don't know, though. And I want to know when this season's over, especially those 7 picks, and I know they're not all going to be home runs. I know it just doesn't happen. It sounds good, and hey, you hope you hit on a lot of them, but you're not going 7 for 7 on this draft class. It just doesn't happen. Injury or just can't figure it out. Somebody will lose their confidence a little bit. It's just not going to happen. That's what history tells us. We're not going 7 for 7 in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round. But we can find some guys and going, damn. We played against a couple teams this year. I thought Cleveland hit the jackpot on some of their draft picks. They had some guys come right in who were really good. They beat us and, got to see that up close. But they're like, hey, man, they got some guys they can build around. Now, they're a mess too, but we need, by where you drafted, you hope, you get the 11th best player in the draft. That's kind of the, within the positions you need. And then you get the 30th best player. That could slide a little bit one way or the other, but still an important pick, right? I mean, that pick, we're all going to remember it was the 30th pick to start with, and we'll see what John Eric Sullivan does with it. And then 2nd round, you got from 30th pick, 43? You got to get that one. Then 75, 87, 90, and 94 got a lot of importance to them. And hell, there may be more. There may be more, but we need to know by the time the year's over, some guys, whether it's wide receivers, cover corners, offensive linemen, whatever, pass rusher. It'd be nice to have a pass rusher come in here and get 6-7 sacks. So anyway, that's what we need. And I just don't know about last year's class. Maybe some of you listening are going, oh, no, you're being way too hard. Kenneth Grant did enough. I go, okay, for you, I want to see more. I see the big jump. And by the way, I got guys going, no, he's going to be really good. I want to let you know there are guys going, no. You need to watch that position more. He was getting better and better. I hope so. I hope he comes back and go, damn, year 2, Kenneth Grant, that's what a number 1 pick looks like. That's what a 1st round pick looks like out of Michigan. I hope that's the case. And that'd be fantastic. So, we got this. Now, this other story is University of Miami And we talk a little bit about it. We're going to get into it later with some of the guys that are going to be coming on the show. We'll talk about it. And listen, it's an interesting group. Woody brought this up yesterday, Carson Beck. I've heard him as the third quarterback after Mendoza and Simpson. I've heard him as the fourth quarterback. I've heard him as a fifth quarterback. He's going to get drafted. The question is, can he slide into the third round? Or is it a fourth or fifth round guy? The other fun one's going to be to watch is Markel Bell. I'm not even getting in the first guys that are expected to go in the first round. We talk so much about Ruben Bain and Mesidor, Maui Noah, how good they are. Markel Bell, 6'9", almost 350 pounds. What did he tell us, Woody, the other day? He's 340-something pounds. He left tackle for the Canes. He's going to get drafted. He's going to get drafted on, size alone. And look, at a lot of these guys have chewed him up pretty good. I ain't going to lie to you. A lot of these guys that do these shows, and they don't have him ranked that high. He will get drafted. But I'm really curious he's a big, strong guy, got a lot better. I thought he played a lot better in the playoffs. But we'll find out. We'll talk to some of the guys about Markel Bell, who, what he told me, they told me it was 60-40. He was going to have a chance. He was going to have to fight it to get another year of eligibility, but we all know how that works out. Most everybody's getting that year back. But he said he didn't want to go through it. He said it was just time. If it's going to be like that, he said he felt he played a lot better in the playoffs. He's just going to go for it. He didn't want to fight the system and end up losing, so he just said he was out. The other interesting guy we haven't talked about at all, Keontae Scott. Nickelback had a great year and ran really fast. A lot of people love him as a slot. Great tackler. Just did a great job of tackling in that defense last year. Just really helped his stock. Some people have him going in the second round, Woody. Keontae Scott in the second round of the draft. So again, it's going to be fun for UM fans to kind of sit back and see where Ruben Bain, you've heard all the things with Ruben. Mesidor, haven't said much. People haven't said that much about him. He's got really flexible and had a great playoff run like Ruben did. And then, hey, Maui Noah might go ahead of everybody. I don't know. Some people got Maui Noah really high. Some have him around 10 or 11.
You have any preference with that first pick? If it was Bain or Maui Noah, you have a preference between the two?
For me?
Yeah.
For this team?
Yeah, for the Dolphins.
Yeah, I'm on guard tackle. I'm not changing.
Okay.
Got to fix that. And I hope, like I said, I hope the guy that's Savai Nice takes a step up, but I want a guy, and I think so does our general manager, a guy that's got guard tackle potential. And their thing has always been tackles can always move in and play guard.
Mm-hmm.
And Maui Noah has only played since he got here, and he only played 3 years here. Hell, he's 20 years old.
The guy they're talking about on TV right now is Caleb Downs. I know Omar, I guess, had him available on his mock draft. Everyone's got all this different stuff all over the board here, but
no,
if someone
guys,
like that were to fall to you?
I don't know. There's a whole bunch of Ohio State guys going.
You
early
just go
in the draft.
best available, right? If someone happens to fall to 11, you just go best available. You're not drafting by need at this point.
Well, we got a lot of needs.
Yes, I think you just go best available.
We got a lot of needs, but
I just hope they don't trade out of that spot. But
I don't know. I hope they don't with 11 either. I'm with you. I'd be disappointed.
Just go best available.
You're going to have a choice. You're going to have a chance. I love this when somebody tells me there's only 10 good first round guys. Like, no.
So you can bet on this stuff, by the way. So Ty Simpson's draft position is 24.5. Like, where do you think he's going to end up? Downs was 9.5. And I've seen him go, from anywhere from.
So I know Ohio State's
9
got
to 10, 11.
Ohio State's got a bunch of great players on defense. And if you take one of those guys, I'm guessing, they've done their homework. I don't really care what they take. We just need an impact guy to come in day one and look like it. I want my 11th pick to look like 11th pick in the draft. You just want to see those guys come in and play at a high level. But it needs, again, we need to see production. We need, whether it's sacks, tackles, interceptions, receptions, blocking, protection for the quarterback. We got a lot of needs, man. You can't go wrong if there's a guy that's really high on your board and it's different position. And hey, man, and he's got a chance. It'd be a good start to the draft. But right off the bat, this is his first draft. This is a big one. John Eric Sullivan's got a big first draft coming up here, 7 in the first 94 picks, and every one of those bad boys is going to be super important for this team. All right, we've got Kyle Krabs going to join us coming up at 8 o'clock. Mike Renner will join us later. Brian Baldinger will join us later. Man, we got all kinds of NFL stuff we'll get into and check around the league and get into all the news of everything. Right now, I was just talking to him for just a second during the break. I love talking about Harvey Cohen, passionate Dolphin fan, and his partner, Gary Judah. Yeah, you've heard me talking about Harvey Cohen and Gary Judah, the partners of Cohen and Judah Injury Law Firm, personal injury attorneys, and something a little different about these partners. These partners are only 2 attorneys. They don't have handoffs. They're not doing handoffs. I know it's almost football season. They're not doing football handoffs to some attorneys they just hired next to them. No, they handle your cases from start to finish. More than 30 years of experience each, big enough to go to trial and get you multi-million-dollar results, small enough just to call you back. I tell everybody this, before I get into their communication skills, think about this. You've been injured in an automobile accident, slip and fall, and you got to find somebody. And meanwhile, you're in pain. While this is all going on and you're getting calls and everybody's telling you go with this guy and go with that guy, there's nothing more frustrating going through this, and all of a sudden you make a decision to go with somebody and they can't keep you up to date on how your case is going, where it stands, somebody going to settle, is it going to have to go to court, all these kind of things, and you can't get a call back. How about you call and they call you back like 8 or 9 hours later or the next day? Not acceptable, man. Not acceptable, and will not happen. Harvey Cohen and Gary Judah believe in communication. That's a big part of this whole legal thing that's going on for you. So go to ConanJudah.com and read the reviews. I think you'll see everything you need that says these guys care. Go to ConanJudah.com, read the reviews, 866 fair fee, and remember this, they don't pay other lawyers to do the work you hire them to do. And if you're not happy where you are right now and you feel like you're not important, you will when you work with Harvey and Gary.
The Joe Rose Show is
buy too. Find a
It's time for Hollywood's headlines. Without further ado, here's Hollywood.
All right, Woody. What do you have for us today?
All right, Joe. I want to get your take on this this NBA situation here that we got going.
Which one?
This this minimum amount of games played. So people are up in arms over this thing because you got Wemby, who happens to be eligible for all of these awards. He played 1,866 minutes during the season. Luka Doncic played almost 2,300 minutes and is not eligible. Cade Cunningham, 2,150 minutes on the season. Anthony Edwards, 2,137 minutes on the season. He's ineligible. So you got all these guys that played over 2,100 minutes. They're ineligible. Guys that haven't played that. So we're talking like workload versus games played. So it's this thing's very, very complicated here, Joe. But I'll throw one other number at you. I think this is fascinating here. So they have a little chart here. How often do all the NBA stars on national TV actually play?
That's a good one.
So an NBA star, Joe, is defined in the NBA's player participation policy as players who have been named to an all-star or all-NBA team in the current season or any of the 3 previous seasons. That's fair, right?
That's fair. I like that.
So, Joe, there were 220 nationally televised NBA games this year, 23 on ABC, 52 on ESPN, 80 on NBC/Peacock,
Right.
9 just on Peacock, and 56 on Prime. So that's 220. You have any idea how many of those games had the full complement of stars?
Oh, not too many.
If you had to guess, what number would you think?
10.
10 out of 220?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't 10. 72 of them. 72 of them had full
That's a bad
stars.
number, man.
That is a shade lower than 33%, Joe. To break it down for you, ABC had the luckiest run here. They had 43.5%. You had the NBC games almost 34%, Prime 34%. The lone Peacock games, though, no love for the Peacock, 11%.
Oh,
these numbers are they're fascinating to look at. By the way,
if I'm not healthy or I'm a little tired,
yeah,
I don't care where we're playing. I'm not playing.
That really isn't that like 33%. That's what you got for full complement of stars.
Hey,
man, oh man,
I'd love to see the breakdown on that same thing. Not national games, but games in general in the NFL. We got a lot of guys missing a lot of games. By the way, how many guys?
But
how many guys play every game?
I know
guys play 15, and I go, hey, 15's pretty good.
The difference is you're not going to NFL games or watching NFL games to watch specific stars most of the time.
Not like the NBA. That's true.
The NBA is such a star-driven league, so when their guys don't play, it's really a bad product.
That top superstar, when they come to your town and they can't play, or LeBron, who's not the best player on his team anymore, but he can be on certain nights, and he's
everyone wants
one
to
of the
see
great.
LeBron.
Of course, everybody wants to see LeBron.
LeBron's not a part of this problem, though.
Steph Curry.
Steph's been hurt.
Also, but again,
these guys are getting up there in age, though,
in
man.
fairness to those guys, and nobody wants to hear this, especially if you already dislike, because LeBron, like him or you don't. The guy's 41 years old.
Yeah.
We get on him like he's still playing at a pretty damn good level at 41, better than, 90% of the players in the NBA. So, I don't know. To expect those guys to play 70 games is just not going to happen. So I
those guys, yes, but
hey, Woody, look at our team. I said we got two guys with Bam that scored 20 points a game. Except they never play. They're hurt all the time, both of them.
Yes, they've had some injury issues. All right, Joe.
So much for playing together.
Speaking of
they
issues,
can't play. Period.
Speaking of issues, let's head up to New England here. They're having a little bit of a situation.
What happened?
We call it a situation. With their head coach and the reporter.
Are they still in the Mike Vrabel thing? They're not going to let that go. It's his marriage.
Executive Vice President of Player Personnel, Elliot Wolf, he met with the media, and obviously they're doing a little pre-draft, press conference. Our guys will speak, coming up here soon too.
Yeah.
He got hit with one question about Vrabel in his entire press conference. This is how it went down.
Elliot, how involved has Mike been in the pre-draft meetings over the course of last week?
Very involved. I mean, business as usual. He's been in there. I would say he's been in there with us probably this round of meetings probably a little bit more than he was last year. Just because I know, there's the coaching staff. He's probably more comfortable. This is me putting words in his mouth. Probably more comfortable. Just where things stand from that standpoint. But he's been in there. He's been contributing. He's watched a ton of the players. I think he tries to watch every player that, like, we give each position coach. He watches that whole, they call it the coaches list. And so he has an opinion on these guys, and it's helpful. And because sometimes there's players that the scouts like, me included, and he'll be like, well, this is the reason that maybe this guy's not the best fit for us. And so, we can, again, continue to compile all the information together.
Business as usual. Meanwhile,
what'd you expect the guy to say?
His partner in crime over there has been, they suspended or sidelined or whatever, pending further.
So can I ask you,
review?
How long before everybody just kind of like, we're going to move on to something else? Like, I mean, honestly, it doesn't affect the team. Whatever he's doing doesn't affect the team.
No, it clearly doesn't.
Second of all, the only thing that affects is mama at home. Really. You want to break this down, this really has to do with he and his wife. That's it.
Yep.
And honestly, for her, although she may not make it out of this with a job,
it's just a very public story. She's a well-known reporter. He's a coach of an NFL team. They're both married. It's a big, tabloid story.
So, I don't know. She's going to have to definitely have a couple of sit-downs with her husband, too, and try to explain that.
Yeah.
When you told me you're going out with the girls, you didn't tell me about staying there, number one. And number two, you didn't tell me Mike's back in the pic. No, I don't.
All right, two more quickies here for you, Joe. This is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen sold. We do these auction stories a lot. 2 trophies from Tiger Woods. These are golf trophies, one from when he was 7 and one from when he was 8. So they're like the little, those trophies you used to get when you were little with the little kid.
He started winning tournaments when he was like 3.
Guy on the top or whatever.
Yeah.
Somebody actually bought these things for $53,000. These 2 trophies. Now, I don't know what you would do with this item. I
thought you were going to tell me one of the trophies from one of the championships he won.
No. Well, he won. He won something.
No, I know, but as a pro,
7 and 8,
he won 100 and something tournaments around the world, like majors, and hell, he won this tournament coming up here in a couple of weeks, Cadillac Championship. I think he won that a couple times, didn't he?
I'm sure he did.
I know he won it once for sure. I can remember he and Phil Mickelson going at it. What a great weekend that was. I can't believe that, though. Come on, man.
There's little trophies with the little guy on the top growing up. I don't know if they're giving those out. Are they giving those out to kids anymore?
What are you saying?
My son actually got a ring for winning baseball.
Wait a second.
A ring. I don't know if they're giving out those trophies with the little guys on the top anymore.
They're still doing the participation stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody.
No, they're not. Not everybody.
Still do that.
They gave the runner-ups like something, but they gave the kids rings. They don't do trophies. That league, at least.
So now they're giving rings to the kids?
They did. He got a ring, yep.
Come on.
Yeah.
Does he wear it?
Yeah, he wears it out to school, yeah.
Hey, look what I got it.
Yeah.
Hey, ass clowns, look what I have here. Did you get one of these? Hell no, you didn't.
Yeah. All right, our final one here, Joe.
Yeah.
7-Eleven is going to close 600 stores this year as they prepare for a massive makeover. This is because companies like Wawa and Buc-ee's are becoming like wildly popular here.
They are. I can't lie.
Now, I went to, because we ended up having to drive to North Carolina because, Spirit Airlines is inconsistent at best.
Before the shot, go ahead.
Inconsistent.
Stay focused.
Anyway, we went to a Buc-ee's on the way there. Incredible. One of the coolest stores I've ever been in, so much so we had to go on the way back. But they have so much stuff. Have you ever been in one of those? A Buc-ee's?
I haven't been to a Buc-ee's.
It's unbelievable. So half the store is like stuff that they sell with like the squirrel or the
But
gopher, whatever
7-Eleven
on
has
it,
really
like merch.
upgraded a lot of their stores. They're not
No,
like
nothing
they
like
used to
this.
be.
This thing has like a huge kitchen. They had all kinds of like barbecue, and
Oh, they don't have
they
that.
have like, what did they have? Dessert, all kinds of desserts. They had a fudge, like they sell fudge.
The only
little
thing I'll say about
squares.
7-Eleven, and you can't let it die,
The Slurpee.
the Slurpee. The half and half Slurpee.
You like
Cherry
Slurpees?
Coke. Oh, come on. Can't worry about sugar when you take that. You just got to take it down. Those are good.
Are you a hot dog guy? You eat a hot dog from there?
I told you I
right,
can't eat 7-Eleven.
I like 7-Eleven's hot dogs. I do like their hot dogs.
and
And they
I'm
have
not
the
taking
cheese and
shots
chili
at
that
'em.
comes out of the machine.
Well, that's just heartburn waiting to happen.
Yeah.
That's not the normal heartburn. That's where I got to run to the emergency room, and they tell me you just have heartburn. You're not dying. Because I think it's the big one. It's terrible, Woody. Terrible. You like their hot dogs, huh?
I do. There's not a hot dog I don't like out there.
Are they aged a little bit to 7? Are they?
No, they're always fresh.
Okay. I just wanted to check.
They're always fresh.
So you're good. You're good for
Yeah.
7-Eleven. You're good for this. All right, Woody. Hey, when we come back, Kyle Krabs going to join us, host of Locked On Fins and NFL analyst for A to Z Sports. We'll talk to him. Right now, I got to tell you about Baptist Health South Florida and the great work and the great doctors they put together. I'm talking about some big, and by the way, we've added some more. We got more. This thing's growing like crazy, this sports medicine program. You start talking about if you're going to have a top sports medicine program, you not only have to have great team doctors, which they have some of the best, but you got to put together a team of specialists for every part of the body. Where there's a sports injury, we have a specialist for it. And let's start with the knee. We got 4 or 5 of the best damn knee doctors from top to bottom, from ACL to MCL to torn everything. It doesn't matter. You can just plan on getting healthy and back out. You're going to be healthy enough to play your sport again. It's amazing the work they do at Baptist Health South Florida with the knee. Shoulder, foot and ankle, hand specialist, back specialist, hip and knee replacement. That's become a big one. Hip and knee replacement. How about getting a hip and knee replacement and back out playing tennis? That's what's going on in the world, man, now with technology. It's amazing. Achilles, I can go on and on. But bottom line is, people ask me all the time, where do the pros go? Inter Miami, the Heat, the Panthers, the Miami Dolphins, FIU, FAU, and a lot of the big sporting events here in South Florida all use the great team doctors they have at Baptist Health South Florida. Man, they are good to go at great facilities. Doctors Hospital in Coral Gables. Been there a few times for a few operations. Then on top of that, not only Doctors Hospital, but Baptist Health is at 595 in Pine Island Implantation. Also at Hard Rock Stadium next to the training facility. Just visit baptisthealth.net/ortho. One goal every day. It's about getting you healthy back out playing the sports you love the most.
when they host Detroit tomorrow night. And to the Marlins, it took game 1 of their series with the Braves 10-4. Game 2 of 3 is tonight with the first pitch at 7:15 from Truist Park in Atlanta. The game can be heard on 560 AM. The Joe Rose Show continues now. And it is time to head out to the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale. One location, Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. ToyotaofHollywood.com, Joe.
All right, Woody, thank you. Kyle Krabs, the host of Locked On Fins and NFL analyst for A to Z Sports, really putting out some great stuff. I saw what you put together. It was way over my head last night, but it was really, really good stuff. Explaining what you did on your podcast. I thought it was just great what you did, Kyle.
Thanks, Joe. So one of the things that I do, as you mentioned, is I do NFL draft stuff league-wide. So there's a whole bunch of film study and player evaluations and trying to play matchmaker and put players with teams. And so when you're grading for all 32 teams, it's a little different than when you're grading for one. But obviously, Miami's going to have their own set of criteria that they're really interested in. And I took all those grades and I kind of tailored them and weighted certain things based off age and playing experience and production and their athletic profile, just kind of based off of the things that the guys that are running this team have talked about. And then the historical precedent that's been set by the 20 years that John Eric Sullivan was in Green Bay and how the Packers have approached stuff. And I put together a draft board and it's got 300 names on it and it's tailored specifically for the Dolphins. And it doesn't quite look chalk compared to like the big board that Kuiper or McShay or Daniel Jeremiah put out. But that's how the draft works, right? Is everybody has their own criteria and their own recipe that they're shopping for.
Kyle, so as we get into this thing, and I know this is a time of year, we haven't said this, but best player versus best player for what you need the most. And we have so many different positions right now on it. For where they might get at 11, everything being equal, is there a name and a position that you kind of like, or 2 or 3 names that you think could be there that the Dolphins could really like with that 11th pick?
Yeah, I think I look at what they have versus what they need long-term on the offensive line. And I think both Francis Mauigoa and Spencer Fano, who Jordan Reed from ESPN, who I worked with for years, came out last week and said that the Dolphins like him a lot, and I see why he's an excellent scheme fit for what we're expecting, the continuation of kind of the style of play. Now, you want better players to execute and to be more diverse. As I just look at like what's going to be there by the time you get to 43 and potentially even 30, if you want to get serious about an upgrade on your offensive line, Mauigoa and Fano, you have a chance to get in on the front end. Now, both of those guys might go top 10. Like, what happens if Arizona takes one of them and then Cleveland stays at 6 and takes the other one? That's very much in the realm of possibility. But if they make it to you at 11, because I think both of those guys have short-term appeal to play inside, and then long-term can be your long-term right tackle to kind of give you another bookend player. I think they make a lot of sense, and I think that well is going to dry up very fast.
Yeah, that's an interesting one right there. Some people like Fano more than Mauigoa. Others like Mauigoa better than Fano. How about for you?
Yeah, I have Mauigoa graded as a higher player. I think he's got some more true power and point A to point B displacement at the line of scrimmage. Now, Fano's lighter on his feet. I think he's a little bit better in space, but Mauigoa, I think, is a little harder to kind of rush with power and take right down the middle. So it's do you like more of the power style player or do you like more of the explosiveness element? Because neither one of them has like super long arms like your stereotypical tackle length, but they both passed thresholds. You know, Fano at the combine came in just over 32 and everybody got all worked up, and then he came out the pro day and his inches were 7/8 of an inch longer. And that was a theme for a lot of guys at the combine, where their combine measurements this year were off and short for whatever reason. So I like Mauigoa a little bit more, but on my Dolphins specific board where I'm tailoring all the grades to things that are relevant, they're both first round tackles for me.
All right. So I'm going to bring it to today's team and potentially for the draft. Jonas Avayanaya. played a ton of snaps at left guard. I mean, they stuck him in there and they go, hey, don't look around. You're still the guy. And it didn't always go great. It overall was not a great year at left guard for him.
Yep.
Now we got a new coach. They would love for him to work out. I know Bo believes that he's going to have a big jump and really get things figured out. So he could move to the right guard position. That could still happen. What do you do with him? And do you trust him enough to just give him that job for this new coaching staff? Or how do you look at Jonas Savaiinaea for this second year?
No, I don't think you can put all your eggs in that basket. And I don't think it has anything to do with whether or not I think Jonah makes the leap or not, but it's more so like nothing's promised, right? There's only a handful of guys that are going to have contracts that warrant you being guaranteed anything on this year's team. And
that's true.
You know, if you come out and you draft somebody early on the offensive line who can play both guard and tackle, based off their draft slot, I think they're penciled in to play in one of the spots. And then if you've got Salyer versus Savaiinaea, and whether that means Jonah's a left side player or a right side player, where he's got all his muscle memory from his college days with how often he played over there, you can kind of just figure out what that best combination looks like and then hope that it can stay static. I think that is one thing that you have to be a little bit guarded about with Jonah. Is we've seen the Dolphins historically, and it has nothing to do with this management group or this coaching staff, but they've tried to cross-train some guys, and they end up playing a bunch of different spots in a bunch of different seasons, and then you're halfway through a season, you got to change your stance back over to the other side. I would hate to see that be the fate for Jonah this year, just because I think that amplifies the chances that he doesn't make some kind of measurable leap, because now he's spending all offseason focusing on training this way, but then midway through the season, hey, forget everything you just worked on and go back to how you were doing it before. I think that's how some of these guys kind of get lost in the weeds.
All right, so let's talk about the quarterback position. We've talked about it since you were like 4 years old, so let's just keep going here. So Malik Willis is starting quarterback, right? I mean, we can talk about open competition. Malik Willis is your starting quarterback, right? Or are you with me on that?
Yeah,
okay.
I am with you. And I think it was it Sullivan at the owners meeting said somebody's going to have to take snaps first behind center week one, and that's going to be Malik.
Right.
I'm paraphrasing what he said, but he essentially came out and said that. Yeah.
First move they made is bringing that guy with them between the head coach and the GM. So now I know some guys, and I'm not. Some people are going to think I'm taking a shot at Omar, and I'm not. Omar's talking about quarterback competition, which he's a little short on this one, but also he thinks they should take a quarterback in those first 7 picks in the first 2 days, and I don't, unless we got so many holes, and you got Quinn Ewers and Malik Willis, and if you want to draft a guy after that, God bless it, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you don't have a pick in that, move up and get him or move back and get him. What do you think about quarterback for this draft class?
I wouldn't be so risk averse I would be so adverse, I should say, to doing the top 100 thing if I felt like there were guys that warranted that kind of consideration. Like Mendoza's going to go off the board, and I've only got 2 other guys that have first, second, or third round grades, and they both have third round grades, and one of them's like a 1-year starter at North Dakota State, and Cole Payton, he's got great tools, really interesting athlete. He's got great size. He's got great intangibles. He comes from a championship program, but he played at the FCS level, and he's a late third round grade for me. And then it's Ty Simpson. So Ty's probably going to go to Arizona either at the end of the first round or early in the second round, just based off the tea leaves. And that leaves one other guy that I even have a top 100 grade on. So I don't think the talent that's available gives you good value to take that kind of swing, where I think if it was a surplus and you liked a lot of guys, you get the 87, 90, or 94, cool. Like, I wouldn't have had a problem with it. I just don't think the board lines up that way this year. So that's where I'm more in the boat that you're in to say, let's draft a guy on day 3 and take a shot on a guy with some tools.
Right.
But is rough around the edges and get him in building. And like the competition that's going to take place at quarterback, unless Malik Willis just comes in and takes the bull by the horns and absolutely closes the door on the conversation with his play this year, the competition at that spot's going to be long-term because they only had so many resources to work with this year. And they happen to think they had some belief in this guy that they brought in to be the guy from the jump.
So three best players on the team last year happen to be still three guys are here, Achane, Brooks, and Brewer. If you're with me that they are the three best players last year at their positions. Yeah. So I don't even think it's close. I think it was clearly. You think any of those guys get moved between we still got people going, oh, they're not done. Mike's going to try to get Brewer out there and with the Chargers, and Brooks going to be with the Cowboys, and Achane's going to be in Seattle or Minnesota. You think if those guys get moved, or you think our guys are going to stand put and go, there's not an offer you can make me short of a first-round pick or a high second-round pick, then I'm going to move those guys?
Yeah, I have a hard time seeing the stars aligning for any of those guys to get moved. And for the Chargers with Brewer, I mean, they signed Tyler Biadasz to a $10 million a year deal this offseason to be center. So I'd be surprised if the Chargers made another move like that, because it would probably require a splash, right? Like this interior offensive line not mattering thing has kind of, the league has told you otherwise about how they're investing. And Tyler Linderbaum got $27 million a year from the Raiders, and these other guards that are sufficient level starters are getting $18-19 million a season to play offensive line. So I think the Achane one, they already footed the bill on some money when they traded Waddle to restructure his contract out to give themselves some salary cap breathing room this year for compliance. When they pay the money up front as a team that's offloading cash, and they're dead last in league in cash spending this year, when they make the decision to say, we're going to write the check for Devon Achane for 4.6 or whatever it is of this year's compensation, and push some of that out for cap breathing room, that to me signals we do believe we're going to have him here long term, because we're not adding to our future depth because he's going to be on the roster. Now, the other side of that coin is you bought down the salary, so now a team that's getting ready to trade for him would only have to pay them the minimum salary this year unless they were going to do the extension themselves. But I think the fact that they were willing to write the check for him and create the cap breathing room and wiggle room with him is that much more of an indicator that they are going to put their money where their mouth is here, and they'll get an extension done. The challenge is, Joe, they got like $2 million in cap space right now. So you do these extensions, and they did a cap salary conversion for Brewer and Achane for cap compliance when they traded Jalen Waddle. Any new money you pay him is just going to get stacked. Like, you can't save money with an extension like you would if a guy had a bunch of base salary this year sitting around that you could just convert to a signing bonus. So you're going to lose cap space. You might not get any of these deals done until after June 1st when they get the Bradley Chubb $20 million in cap relief. Like, that to me is one of the bigger blockades that they have to try to navigate right now is, okay, if we do an extension right now, we only have $2 million in cap space. How do we stay compliant if we're going to sign these extensions and give these guys these pay raises where they get these money when they put pen to paper?
Yeah. Wow, that's a little bit of an issue, because I'm guessing all those guys I just mentioned definitely all want new contracts. They want some guaranteed money behind at 28, and 24, all looking to get another contract. So let me ask you a priority list before I let you run here for you. Besides, as you and I agree, guard and tackle is a big one for me, the combination guy. Would protect yourself with Austin Jackson at right tackle from injury and still get better inside at the guard position. Next priority for you would be wide receiver, cornerback, or edge rusher.
It would probably be edge rusher for me, just because I think you have a chance at a pretty good one at 30. All things equal, I'm going to have guys that are all graded similarly at corner, edge, wide receiver. But I think the corner and wide receiver groups are a lot deeper, where if I have guys that are rated equally or very similarly and everything else is equal, I'd probably lean into the guy that, unless I have big time convictions on like who somebody is as a person or a very specific kind of role or how they could define what we do, if everything else is equal, I'll take the guys at the spots where it's not as deep of a class, because I'm going to feel better about what I can find the next time I come on the board at both corner and wide receiver. So for me, it's edge and that starter offensive lineman are the two things that are my top two things that I'm wishing to see like good or appropriate value with the 2 first-round picks.
If you're to get in those first 7 picks, you double up at one position, what would it be for you?
Probably wide receiver, just because I think it's like an obnoxiously deep group. Now, If you get one at 43 and one at 75, you get one at 75, one at 94. You get one at 30 and get one at 75, like whatever that needs to look like for a combination. I think they have a chance to really kind of reshape that room, even if they don't go to it in the first 2 or 3 picks.
Yeah. No, I agree. No, listen, man, they got spread it out, and so it'd be interesting. You feel strongly they stay at 30? I know we still got a week left, but you feel you think they're looking for potential offers to slide a little bit?
Well, so it's interesting. You know, Kyle Smith, the assistant GM, did an interview on Drive Time with Travis Wingfield yesterday, and at the end of it, he kind of talked about, you know, you have a lot of flexibility when you have that much capital, and he alluded to, you know, maybe we trade out and get some more 2027 picks, or maybe we get aggressive and go up and get a guy. You know, we've heard some kind of buzz that they could go either way. So, like, maybe the Cardinals come calling at 30 because they want to come up and get Ty Simpson with the 5th-year option. Maybe the Dolphins have conviction about a guy that slides into the mid-20s and they want to go up a few picks because it might only cost them like a 4th-round pick to move up 5 spots in the 20s. Like, I could see them going either way on 30. If I had to guess, I'd probably lean slightly more than coin flip that they don't stay at 30 than that they do stay at 30. It's just whether they go up or down. Like, I think they'll have opportunities to go either way.
Hey, Kyle, I'd like to. One more here, too, because I said this earlier today. I still don't know about last year's draft class. And I'm not saying they're bad. I still don't know how good. And I hope we know more earlier about this draft class than last year's. And obviously, we got a lot higher picks overall than a year ago. But do you agree you're still not sure what you have from last year in the draft class?
I think you have some guys that you're worried maybe don't have a bigger menu of role than what they filled last year. Because a lot of those guys, you know, at the end of the day, they made 2 picks in the top 100, right? And then their 3rd pick came in the 5th round.
5th round, that's right. They start all the 5th-round picks.
When you get that deep, and that's where you start adding your volume with the day 3 guys, like, yeah, it is a huge variance thing. Yeah. Now, Jonah's up in the air. I thought Kenneth played really well down the back half of the season. I think he's going to be just fine. I think he has a chance to make a nice leap himself, too, and I think this scheme will allow him to be a little bit more disruptive instead of kind of controlling the point of attack style play. And I think Kenny can make a big leap in that regard. But, yeah, the late round guys, it's kind of wait and see. I'm really high on Jordan Phillips. I think, you know, he's got a really nice floor.
Me too.
The question is, can he create a bigger role for himself on passing downs? Yeah. And depending on what fronts they play. So I think that's the big thing for Phillips. But I think he'll be fine if he ever just becomes what he was last year. I think he can be a really, really, really good player at that kind of role.
Kyle, that's a good way to finish it, man. Thank you so much, bud. I've been working your butt off. Your stuff's been fantastic. For everybody out there, go to host of Locked On Fins and NFL analyst for A to Z Sports. Kyle Krabs got great stuff, brother. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Joe. Good catching up.
All right, Kyle joining us. Always great to have him. Hey, we got to go to break. We're running so late. I got to take a break. We'll be right back.
WQAM
Seems to be a little bit of miscommunication here.
Shocking.
The two sides. So let's go with 4.
Well, you got more family members can go. It's
yeah. So let's.
I
go
mean,
with,
father and son, or father and daughter, or mom and son, and
so Len put
get some
4.
more.
So if it's not 4, he'll have to come up with the other 2. So we'll go with 4. 305-567-0560.
You're gonna wake him up.
5.
You keep this up, you're gonna wake him up. You keep doing that. It's terrible.
Yeah, it is terrible. I wouldn't want to do that.
All right, Woody, that sounds good, man.
You notice this on both TVs? They're promoting this WrestleMania thing coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got ESPN and ESPN2 on. They got both TVs right now. Big weekend for sports entertainment, Joe.
And then on top of that, they got a lot of them going on the shows during the day.
Oh, yeah.
You get the whole deal there. Yeah. They're
You going to watch?
No.
Cody Rhodes? He's fighting Randy Orton, I think.
Okay. No.
We'll look more into it and get you odds and such. But
No, don't worry about
Friday
that.
will be a big WrestleMania preview day.
That's not fair to me because, hey, man, I don't have anything against it. If you like it, it's good.
A lot of people do
I
like
know,
it.
a lot
It is
of
very
people
popular.
I mean, a lot of people really wrapped up in it like it's real stuff. I mean, they're really into it.
I went to the one at Amaranth, the Bank Arena over there, and there were a lot of grown-ups that were into it.
Screaming, yelling,
They were they were into it, which is fine.
No, it's great.
If it's your thing. Like the grown-ups are like Disney World, something for everyone.
You're
right.
You're on a roll. Just keep going. You want to
Sure.
keep going? Just keep going.
I'm out. I got to do the
doing
giveaway. I'm sorry.
Hey, we got Mike Renner, CBS Sports and host of the Pushing the Pile podcast, going to join us. And Mike does great stuff on the draft. So we'll get caught up. He's got something out right now, first 3 rounds of this mock draft that's out. And he does a nice job of splitting it up with all the needs of the Dolphins. And matter of fact, not to tease you too much, but he's got us taking a couple of wide receivers and a couple of cornerbacks. So, and two very important positions, man. No question about it. And he's got a guard in there early on. He's got an edge rusher, which, hey, all things safety. And one thing about it, man, we got, like I said, 7 picks in the first 94 picks of this draft. And so going to be a player, especially Thursday and Friday, where rounds 1 and then 2 and 3 the next day will take place. And then Saturday, man, it will be crazy there too. Meanwhile, this thing's going to be in Pittsburgh, and I'm guessing the Pittsburgh fans are like, what the hell are we doing a quarterback, man? We don't have a quarterback. Everybody got a freaking quarterback. When the hell did anybody think that the Steelers would be the last team kind of looking? Whether you like the quarterback you have or not, like they're the only ones that, like, we can't be going with one of these guys on the roster. There's no way, right? I mean, we're getting somebody because we're running out. And Kirk Cousins kind of took off and went to the Raiders. So when that happened, a lot of people thought, well, Aaron Rodgers is definitely coming back for another year. Which, by the way, I still think, off of what I saw on Monday Night Football, he's still really good. He can still throw it. Now, I know what you get with him. I know he's got the wife that no one's ever seen, and he's going to say some things, but he's still pretty good. He still throws it. I don't know how he moves around, lower body, not like he used to, but boy, he's pretty good. That arm is still pretty darn good for his age. I mean, that thing is still elite. All right, listen, we got more stuff to get to. Mike Renner will join us, and we'll talk to Mike and get into his thoughts on this draft coming up, which is, by the way, just a little bit more than a week away right now. I want to talk to you about Recovery Unplugged and the great work that Dr. Barry and his staff are doing, man. I got to tell you, if you need a reset right now and you have gone through some hard times, as in things have kind of upside down in your life, marriage, divorce you're going through, separation you're going through, losing your job, things just not going well, and all of a sudden you've turned to some bad things that have really got you in a funk, and even your friends are going, dude, you need to do something. If your mental health needs a comeback season, Recovery Unplugged Behavioral Health is here to help you with a beautiful mental health residential program right here in Fort Lauderdale. They've helped over 20,000 people nationwide with expert care. music-based healing, and innovative treatments like ketamine therapy for depression, anxiety, and trauma. Make this the year you put yourself first. It's been a while since you've done that. Hey, let's get you out of that funk. Let's get you back out on the road. Call 954-737-4508 or visit recoveryunplugged.com. New year, new you. Recovery Unplugged. Heal out loud.
WQAM broadcasting live from the
affecting all of your main lanes and
on location, Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan, Toyota of Hollywood.com.
All right, Woody, thank you so much. And it's real nice to have with us this morning Mike Renner, CBS Sports, and host of the Pushing the Pile podcast. I'm guessing right now Mike's getting hit by every NFL city, somebody radio talk show host in every city wanting to figure out what their team's going to do, and they need Mike to help them. Mike, good morning, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me.
Nah, I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on this morning with us. I see you got your 3-round mock draft out, and it just happens that we are sitting with a ton of picks in the first 3 rounds down here. John Eric Sullivan, 7 in the first 94 picks. And I saw last night, I love the way you spread it out because we obviously need cornerbacks and edge rushers and receivers, and we need just about everything, to be honest with you. I want to start with this because this is the biggest need for me on a team full of needs. And it looks like they're looking for a combo, a guy that maybe starts at guard and can move out to tackle as they pick at 11. And if not 11, it could happen at 30 or around 30 if they slide that pick one way or the other. I'm just curious, what do you like for top guard tackles that could be there at number 11?
I think there's a few guys in this class that kind of fit that bill. Probably the biggest ones are Francis Mauigoa from Miami. Now, will he be there at 11? He could very easily be off the board, depending on how the top 10 shakes out, which is really still way up in the air at this point. And then Spencer Fano from Utah. Both are college right tackles who, with Mauigoa has more of a guard build and is more of a guard athlete in play strength-wise, whereas Fano just kind of has shorter arms. Is a heck of an athlete. Could play tackle if he wanted to, but some teams won't want him to be there with that length. So I think both guys fit that bill. And I'm not sure what the Dolphins want to do necessarily with Savignaya because he was right side in college, goes left side in the pros. I don't know if you want to put him back on the right side where he was better in college, but those two guys are right tackles now at the collegiate level. So if you're flipping the left side, might have some growing pains the way you saw with Savignaya.
Yeah, things, and there were growing pains, to put it nicely, at the left guard position. How much you like him coming out of college last year?
I did, but I thought it was, you had to understand that he was not an NFL-ready guy. That's what always surprised me when they traded up for him. I was like, he was kind of a 2 or 3 year sort of project, given what I saw on tape. But, I mean, he's so talented. I think he'll figure it out. But it's, like you said, it was rough. It was a rough year one.
Yeah. No. He saw every trick and everything possible from defensive tackles across the National Football League. There was no question about it. So we talked about the depth of this draft, and we got 4 picks, as you know, in the 3rd round. Is it deep enough, and what positions are deep enough where the Dolphins can potentially, hate to say it, but that's a position we're in, starters in this first year?
Yeah, so it's not a super deep class, but I think there are certain positions where I think at that point in time you'll still be getting good players. I think the cornerback and linebacker classes are 2 that really stand out to me as being deep, as at that point in the draft you'll probably still be getting darn good players. I think it's a good interior offensive line class, but I think that given the value of that position, you could see them coming off the board earlier. So you might have to. That's why I have them picking, a guard at pick 30 in my mock draft, just because I think they're going to come off the board a little earlier than expected. And then I think it's also a good safety class where you could find one of those. I have a lot of safeties in my top 100, far more than usual. And it's a devalued position, so those will likely fall down to the back end of the 3rd.
As you know, they got rid of, just traded away Waddle, so they're really empty at wide receiver. They've added a couple of cheap free agents to come in here. Is there potential starters there in the 2nd or 3rd round where you can get I know it's not as deep maybe as everybody was hoping for starters. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think there's definitely role players in the 2nd and 3rd. I'm not sure I see, potential stars in this 2nd and 3rd round. I think those guys, more than likely, I think we see at least 5 go in the first round, if not 6. So if you want a star, chances are it's going to have to be pick 11, pick 30. But after that, I think if you want role players, there's actually a lot of guys I really like in this draft class that can be, reliable slot receivers, that can be pure vertical threats. There's some interesting names in that, but there's not really a lot of complete guys outside the early round ones.
So we'll move it down the road here a little bit to University of Miami. A very interesting group because a lot of people, the Ruben Bain news, and I wanted to ask you about that. Ruben Bain started with this short arm thing that I know he's getting tired of, known him since he's in high school. He's getting tired of hearing about it and wish everybody just watch his tape. And then the news that just came out that the NFL's known about for a long time and the school obviously knew about when it happened. What are your thoughts on what happens to Ruben Bain, who's coming off such a monster season?
Yeah, I mean, I think with something like that, there's probably teams that will just shy away, and especially given that he's not the cleanest prospect with that arm length that you mentioned. On tape, though, I mean, this guy's the top-ranked player on my board. I think he's exceptional. I don't see any reason why he won't still be a successful NFL player, but it'll probably just, it honestly might behoove him because there are certain teams that do it. The teams that come to mind are teams like the Chiefs, teams like the Bengals that have historically not really worried too much about drafting players, with maybe a checkered past. So I do think that, if he lands with the Chiefs, I don't think he'll be too upset about that.
Yeah, he's actually a great kid. I know everybody's looking at this accident and what happened, and it was tragic, but he got great parents. I mean, just top-notch family. Anyway, Mesidor's the other one on the other side. Everybody's kind of all over. I know his age. He's a little bit older. He just all of a sudden has this great year, the great bend, and was, he was, again, great in the playoffs. What's your take on Mesidor for this draft?
I think he could fall. Now, whoever drafts him is getting a heck of a player. I would not, I would not want to be the team that passes on him for some other edge in this draft class in like the 20s, just because I know Akeem Mesidor is going to be able to play in the league. But unfortunately, he's 25 coming out, incredibly old for a first round pick, any position, especially edge. And they didn't test pre-draft at all, which as fully healthy, not testing pre-draft, it's like, we know why you didn't do that. The numbers are probably not going to be great. So I think he falls out of the first round ultimately because of that. But
wow.
You watch his tape and I'm like, this guy can play. He's got it. So maybe someone at the back end, teams like the Bills, there's some teams down there that really need pass rush help that are just like, let me get the guy right now. And to me, he's right now ready.
So the other guy everybody's been talking about is Carson Beck, and, the Georgia to Miami thing, and he kind of rehabbed his career and coming off the injury, and I thought played really well, especially when they got on their run late in the regular season, right into the playoffs. But you've seen the throws and everything else. Where does he fit into the quarterback picture of getting drafted?
So it's a really light class. I mean, it's after Ty Simpson, who's going to be quarterback 2 in this class. We might not see one until day 3. Now, I think him, Garrett Nussmeier from LSU, Cole Payton from North Coast State, those are your next 3 in some order. But unfortunately for Beck, it's just his game. Yes, it's NFL translatable, but he doesn't necessarily have the tools that get you super excited. He does not have that ability to create outside of structure that people are looking for. And his arm, I thought, even, post UCL, I thought it just took a little bit of a step back, unfortunately, for him. So for all those reasons, I think you'll just see him be kind of treated as, high-end backup. And more than likely, now maybe in this class, back in the third, because it's a thin class, someone will pull the trigger on that. But more than likely, when teams give backup grades, that's ended up being a day 3 pick.
The other real nice story is Keontae Scott comes as a transfer portal guy and just balls out in his position as a slot corner there. What's everybody saying? He ran real fast too, but what happens with Keontae Scott for you?
He's such a good slot. I mean, in terms of, he's probably, I think he ended up the top true slot cornerback on my board. Now there's some like outside corners who are ahead of him that could play in the slot, but I wouldn't move him. I think he's just plug and play, and that's a position that's growing in value. It used to be kind of the redheaded stepchild of the secondary, right, where no one would want to draft those guys, and they got paid nothing. And now it's like, you see Nick Manwari drafted top 40 last year to play slot, and he's almost winning Rookie of the Year. So it's a role you need in today's NFL. So it wouldn't surprise me if he sneaks in the top 50. given his age, given, that's still not necessarily considered the most valuable position, he could fall a little bit later on, but I don't think too much later on. I think top of the third, mid-second is where he comes off the board.
All right, one more guy. I know you, and I'm not going to go through the whole class here of guys, but Markel Bell, big guy. He was good, going to go back and forth. Should he fight trying to get another year? We just talked to him at spring football, and he goes, I just decided forget it. I thought I'd play well enough that I'd be okay in these playoffs that we had. 6'9", I don't know, 6'8.5", 340-something pounds. He's a big dude. He did get better in the playoffs. So what happens to him? Where do you see him going?
I think he's a day 2 pick through and through. There's 3 guys that I see as like day 2 tackles in this class, which is kind of thin. There's usually more than that, but it's him. It's Travis Burke from Memphis. And then it's Caleb Tiernan from Northwestern. So, like, if you don't get one of those 3 guys, chances are you're getting someone who's not even going to be able to see the football field. Now, I do think at his size and just, his height is also like he's so tall. I think that's one of his bigger weaknesses is just being able to sink and get low. But I am floored by how easily he moves at that size. I think he'll at least be seen as a high floor sort of option for someone, and especially if your team who wants to be a little bit more physical, a little bigger up front, he'll be a fit for that. So I think he comes off the board somewhere in the 3rd round, if I had to guess.
Are you a Ty Simpson? By the way, Ty Simpson literally had people in the media wanting to fight each other and former players all upset. It was like crazy. I've never seen anything like it, but what's your take on him? Not that anybody's going to get mad at you. What do you think of Ty Simpson?
I mean, I see the polarization because his tape, like from early to late, was polarized. Like he was a different guy. I really liked what I saw probably up through the LSU game. And then after that, I thought it was like, it wasn't good at all. I thought, maybe come back to school. But in this class, I would take him in the 1st round just because of the desperation, because it really was really good tape through, like I said, the LSU game. He looked like an NFL starter. He has a lot of traits and a lot of just like the way he plays the game is very translatable. I think he's underrated as an athlete, but no, he's not close to Fernando Mendoza. And no, I'm not taking him in the top 10.
Yeah. Well, that's our guy down here too, Mr. Mendoza, man. So what a great story that's been. Mike, thank you so much. I really appreciate spending some time with us. I know you're really busy. Thank you.
For sure. Happy to do it. Thanks so much for having me.
Right.
Take it easy.
All right. Mike Renner, CBS Sports and host of the Pushing the Pile podcast. We're not done, man. We got more stuff coming up here in the 9 o'clock hour. My man, Brian Baldinger, Odyssey NFL Insider, NFL Network. They've got all these insider shows going on right now, and you'll be seeing a lot of Baldy coming up here. So we'll have him coming up here in just a few minutes. First, though, I got to tell you about your South Florida Chevy dealers, man. Let's talk trucks. Let's talk Silverado. Check that Colorado and Silverado combination. You can't go wrong, man. Whether you choose the heavy-duty or light-duty, dependability always comes standard when you talk about Chevrolet truck. Man, they make them strong, they make them durable, they make them powerful, and we have a truck absolutely perfect for your lifestyle. You work 7 days a week, that's how you make a living, long hours. Well, you need a truck as durable as you are. We've got it for you. Maybe you need more of a family truck and more of a fun truck on the weekend, too, to pull around all the toys. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Not only the impressive cargo, but all the other things like those wave runners and the boats and everything. We got it for you, man. Strong, durable. You don't have to worry about it. Whether it's fun, whether it's work, we're durable and ready to go just like you are every day. And I'll tell you what, man, it goes with the SUV family as well. The Tahoes, the Silverado trucks, man, down to a Traverse. I just go down to the Equinox. Man, we are selling them like crazy here in the QAM family right now. We got something for everybody. Hey, 14 dealerships, South Florida. Great deals going on right now, whether it's a car, truck, or SUV. Make sure you stop by and take some test drives and fall in love. If you haven't been to Chevy, you're going to be blown away. We got some great looks and some great deals going on right now.
If it's going down, you know it.
will not increase your chance of winning. Odds of winning based
Accident attorneys.
Call 1-800-7.
Go home playing game. Tip-off is at 7:30. The game can be heard on 104.3 FM. Over to the Panthers, who beat the Rangers 3-2. The Cats will wrap up their season when they host Detroit tomorrow night. And to the Marlins, who took game 1 of their series with the Braves 10-4. Game 2 of 3 is tonight with the first pitch at 7:15 from Truist Park in Atlanta. The game can be heard on 560 AM. The Joe Rose Show continues now. And it is time to head out to the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale at one location. Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. ToyotaofHollywood.com, where we are joined by Odyssey NFL insider Brian Baldinger. Odyssey NFL insider calls are brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need, Joe.
All right, man, that's great to have our guy back, man, Brian Baldinger. I hope he's had a great off season here because I haven't heard much from him here recently, which means my man's enjoying himself a little bit. Baldy, how you doing?
Joe, it's good to hear your voice, man. I'm doing great. It's good time of the year, man. We get a little Christmas season for all of us NFL teams out there next week, and I'm just kind of getting geared up for it.
Hey, you know what? It is incredible what they've created, not only in the cities that get these events like Pittsburgh this year, but what the first round has turned into. like it's like its own event. It like ranks up there. Like they're the only sport that's been able to do this and make it such a huge day or a huge weekend of the draft. It's incredible.
It is, Joe, and it's going to be I'm from Pittsburgh and born there. You know, it's my roots, and it's going to be some kind of scene. It's a football town, obviously, but you know they just made another change for next Thursday night, Joe. The picks are now instead of being within every 10 minutes, it's down to every 8 minutes.
It's great.
So it's going to move even. It's going to move even quicker than it already has. So it's gonna come at us really fast, Joe. We're going to see a lot of names come off the board that we've heard about for the last 2 months, and every team is going to think that they've just turned their fortunes around.
Yeah, I love that when they go to the war room and they're all celebrating. No matter what, they got their guy right from the start to the finish. Man, we got our guy, and shaking hands with the owner, and the GM's hugging the president, and the president's hugging the head coach. It's beautiful. Hey, so let's jump into it. And I think of Baldy's breakdowns and the Miami Dolphins with a new general manager, a new head coach. The Green Bay way, I like to say, of doing things, been pretty successful. So you like some guard tackles. They're talking about potentially trying to find a guard who can be a tackle at 11. Just curious how you like this group of guards and tackles in this draft.
I like him, Joe. Viveka Iwani is, the number one guard in this draft from Penn State. And, just like last year, Tyler Booker and Graves Abel were first-round picks of Dallas and Seattle. They both started, made an impact right away. I think he's better than both those guys. So,
wow.
But, if you look at Maranoa, here from University of Miami, he looks like he could be an all-pro guard, but he certainly could play, tackle like he did at Miami. It's a good group. I don't think there's Lane Johnson in the group. I don't think there's Trent Williams in the group, but I think it's a pretty solid group. There's going to probably be 6 or 7 offensive linemen taken in the first round. So it just depends on, when they start to fall. You like
Maui Noah then inside a little bit. I hear that sometimes that he could be, even better, although, everybody's going to be looking for tackles. You know that. But you think he can play in the NFL a tackle too and be all right?
It just reminds me of watching when Zach Martin came out of Notre Dame and Quentin Nelson came out of Notre Dame. They were tackles, and, they became all-pro and all-world guards. And I feel like that's kind of what Brandon Sheriff was like that. He was the 5th pick in the draft out of Iowa, and he came in, had a great career. I feel like that's what it looks like when I watch him, although certainly he's got the size to be a tackle and can start a tackle, but he looks like he might be even better inside.
We got Jonas Avayanaya, and, people kind of listen, everybody's under a microscope, and he played every snap, but it wasn't necessarily, there's a lot of growing pains, to put it nicely, in year one. You think he's got potential to still be a lot better? People go back and forth on this.
Yeah, I do. I thought that it was a little fast, and I thought he got, just handled by some quicker guys inside last year. But, the size and the ability and the mentality, I think, is all there. I'm a huge fan of, the left tackle and Patrick Paul. I thought he had a very good season. And so, let those guys grow together, for another year. And I think you might have something really brewing there on that side.
Yeah. It's interesting. By the way, we got all kinds of news. Speaking of Pittsburgh, before I forget, it is really weird that everybody's got a pretty good idea who their quarterback's going to be and kind of back up. And Pittsburgh is sitting there, especially after Kirk Cousins signed to either start or be the backup or a combo with the Raiders. I guess this means Aaron Rodgers coming back to be the Steelers quarterback here in the next month or two.
Well, he's got to make a declaration here by next Thursday. They got to know going into the draft. I don't know if he's holding them hostage, but obviously he's been, out of the news and we haven't heard from him. But Pittsburgh's got to kind of know what they've got or what they don't have. And it might really change the way they approach the draft. Maybe they know and we just haven't heard. You can read all the tea leaves you want, but, it's going to be his decision, I would think.
Yes.
Or Pittsburgh's decision. Maybe Mike McCarthy and Omar Khan and the GM and Andy Weidel, the pro personnel director. Those guys, maybe they already know. And they're, just keeping it quiet right now.
Ty Simpson, Boy, I'll tell you what, everybody's been all over the board everywhere. Doesn't matter where you turn. It's hard to get people to agree on Ty Simpson as high as middle first round to into the second round. What do you think from what you see? And man, listen, everybody's looking for that franchise quarterback.
Why did he come out? He started 15 games. So what? You know, I mean, he wasn't good at the end of the season. He got banged up. He's not a big guy. Like, I don't know why some of these guys come out, Joe. Like, he needs to play. And so people go, well, you know, you could take him and he can sit and watch. Well, nobody gets better at that position by sitting and watching. Nobody. No. You only get better by playing. And so I just think it's a big gamble. We've seen so many guys fail, Joe. I mean, 15 starts. I mean, you got to learn how to play on the road in bad weather, you know, with a good team, with a bad team around you. Like, there's just, you know, Carson Beck, he stayed. I think it helped Carson. You know, I like Carson Beck personally. You know, it helped that he played 15 or 16 games for Miami this year, coming back from a shoulder injury. But 15 starts, I don't care what he looked like in some of the games, especially early in the season. He wasn't good in the, you know, at the end of the season. I'm just not sold just because of the history of guys that have only started 15 games in college and what that transfers to the NFL.
You sound like Mike Mayock. If you talk to Mike Mayock, I swear to God, Mike.
I mean, I know Mike real well.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to him in this cycle yet. But you know, we used to work in the same building here for a long time.
Hey, real quickly, AJ Brown, man, the AJ Brown topic too. We like him. No, he likes us. No, we're not giving up. But his name's still out there. Do you think when it's said and done, he'll be playing with the Eagles next year?
I don't think so, Joe. I mean, they just made another trade yesterday or this weekend for Dontavian Wicks. You know, he's 24-year-old wide receiver who's had some good days in this league. They traded for Hollywood Brown. They traded for or picked up free agent Elijah Moore. It looks like they've rebuilt their wide receiver room. You know, I was at a wedding with a bunch of the Eagles this past weekend in Nashville. Nobody was really talking. I wasn't snooping. I didn't really care. But, you know, honestly, like it just seems like they're ready to they already have a number one wide receiver in Devontae Smith. It's not like they lose a lot. You know, they've got a number one. It's hard to, you know, Miami just showed you. It's hard to, you know, kind of feed two number one wide receivers when they had Waddle and Tyreek Hill.
It is hard.
So you know, they've got a number one. They got a bunch of guys that look like they could be the two or the three. They got a good tight end. They got a hell of a running back. I mean, it looks like with what they have in the roster without A.J. Brown, they're still pretty good.
Hey, so John Eric Sullivan and Jeff Hafley with all these picks and had to clean house, as you know, a lot of dead money at the cemetery right now. There's no question about it. So I just curious as you look at it and this draft overall, how many starters can you get? I know you're not going to hit 7 out of 7. It sounds great, and I could sit here and tell you, hey, we got 7 in the first 94. We're going to get 7 great players, but I just history says that won't be the case. What would be your goal to get out of this of guys that end up being good starters out of the first 7 picks?
Joe, I mean, I'd be curious what your buddy Dan Marino would say about that wide receiver room. It looks like the worst wide receiver room.
Oh, it's bad right now. Yeah, no, it's nothing
so
there.
I mean, you got to get a starting wide receiver. You got to get a starting corner. I mean, you got 11, you know, picks 11 and 30. You probably got to get a starting right tackle. I mean, I think you got to start with saying we need 3 starters, Joe. I know they've got 4 third-round picks, and maybe one of those guys. You hope one of those guys, you know, can become a starter. You know, so you'd hope that with the picks that they have at 11, 30, and 43, that you could get 3 starters. I mean, you know, not that you have to have it, but the roster is pretty weak at this point. So, you know, they're probably going to need a safety, a corner, a right tackle, a wide receiver for sure. Not to mention, you know, tight end, whatever else. So,
right.
I would think you got to start with at least 3 starters with those top, you know, 7 of the top 94 picks.
I know you spent time at UM. By the way, we're at Spring. They love you down there. And by the way, you got to see these new guys, these 4- and 5-star tackles that came in early. They were going, Baldy's going. I go, Baldy's going to love him, man. This Cantwell kid is, yeah.
I just like the way, you know, Mario works those guys down there. Like, I mean, that's a serious program what Mario's doing there, man. I applaud because I didn't think we were going to see football practice like that anymore in this world.
Yeah. How about us? We go from Dolphin practice last year to watching now. And it was like, holy smokes, I'm not going to be able to do this show today. Are you kidding me? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, got to ask you about another guy, Markel Bell, who ended up turning 6'9", 340-something pounds. Started on the other side of Maui Noah at left tackle. Where's he end up, and how good can he be at the next level?
I think people are going to, he's going to get drafted. Whether he's day 2 or day 3, he's going to get drafted, Joe. He reminds me, honestly, everybody always looking for a comp. There's a kid that came out of Kansas State, 11 or 12 years ago, Cornelius Lucas. He's still in the league. He's had a 10 or 11-year career. He's not as big as Markel. He's 6'9", just not as thick as Markel. But there's a place for him.
Yeah.
There's definitely a place for a guy that has that size, arm length, the way he's been trained by Mario down there. I watched him, go through all the drills last year. I'm sure guys that have great suddenness and quickness, the Micah Parsons world are going to get them all tangled up at times. But, when you go up against a guy like that, you make sure that you give him help. But I think he could become a player in this league.
Hey, before we get to the draft, I just, after the Waddle deal, I looked at that Denver team, what they have coming back and the draft, and they gave up a good pick for Waddle, but he's a hell of a player. So I think they clearly have the best team in the AFC, and everybody goes, oh, you can't say that. I don't even know if they're the best in their own division. How do you feel about the Denver Broncos this year?
So they won 15 games last year, and the quarterback, didn't play in the second playoff game against Buffalo. He was 15-3 as a starter. They won a playoff game. They dominated the division. They led the league in sacks. They've lost a couple of players, but they picked a kid in the first round last year, Jahdae Barron, out of Texas, a cornerback. He couldn't even get on the field. Not because he wasn't good. It's just because they were locked down. Riley Moss, Patrick Surtain, like they had all their guys, and they brought J.K. Dobbins back, and they get Waddle. The offensive line returns intact. They were down 2 starters during the season. You didn't notice the loss of 2 starters at center and left guard. That's because their depth was so good.
Yeah.
I think they're the team to beat, Joe.
Yeah. I'm glad somebody finally agrees with me on that. Hey, before I let you go, Malik Willis going to be a starting quarterback. 2 guys that knew him best ended up bringing him with them. It didn't take them long. John Eric Sullivan, the general manager, Jeff Hafley. Boy, that was a quick one that they think, from what they've seen being with him last 2 years. What are your thoughts? You've seen him up close a few times.
Yeah, I saw him when he was a rookie in Tennessee. I saw him at Liberty, when he was playing college there. He's 4 years into this thing. Look, he started 6 games, Joe. There's a big difference between being a backup, coming off the bench, and, playing well, and becoming, a starter on a team that isn't nearly as talented as Green Bay. There might be some growing pains there. He's got to learn how to become a starter. I think he knows how to prepare. He's a smart kid. He's a great kid. Never gonna have to worry about him. He's got all that stuff going for him. But it's going to be a different world when you're under the microscope, and they're game planning for you now every week, and the roster around him isn't very good right now. So it's a little bit of a reach right now, but they got to see him in practice every day. They got to see how his chemistry, his makeup. I'm pulling for him because he's a great kid. But this is going to be a big jump for him this year.
All right. Hey, Baldy, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Thanks for coming on.
My pleasure, Joe. Anytime, man. Let's do it again real soon.
You got it. Brian Baldinger, Odyssey NFL Insider.
This NFL Insider call has been brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need.
All right, Woody, thank you so much. I want to tell you about Michael Kotze at Choice Mortgage here for just a second. 30 years of experience, and people ask me, how's Michael Kotze, through all the craziness of what's going on with interest rates and everything, how's he stay in business? And I go, well, it's simple. It's about great service. It really is. No matter. When you need to get approved, you need to get money, you need to get that second mortgage, you need to get a reverse mortgage. You're looking at, all that equity, get some of it out of your home. Hey, man, this is what Michael Kotze does. I'm telling you, debt consolidation and everything else you might be going through. One of the more popular ones right now, man, is people are behind on property taxes, HOA dues, insurance, assessments, judgments. They're going through all these things going, I don't know how I'm going to make it late in life. And Michael Kotze can help you get it taken care of. How about you're living right now in a condo and you're actually were looking great when it started. Now with the cost of everything, you're actually using your credit card to pay every month at 18, 19%. Man, it's crazy. You're just not going to make it. It's a terrible story on its way. Michael Kotze can get you approved, get that second mortgage for you, get things back paid off, and get those rates down for you so you can afford to live again. Matter of fact, reverse mortgages, if you're 62 or older, you and your spouse, first you have equity in your home, he can get you approved quickly. Again, it's about great service. It's always about low rates and just doing a great job for people. And that's what Michael Kotze's done for 30 years at Choice Mortgage. The man has no life. He's always working 7 days a week. Call or text him, 561-441-2730. It's 561-441-2730, MLS 166254. Rates and terms are subject to change. Daily without notice. He's an equal housing lender. Go to Google reviews on the web. Choice Mortgage reviews. They're saying a lot of great things about Michael Kotze at Choice Mortgage. it looks a little rainy one place, and you call and they go, no clouds around here. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Throw a stock market report at you, too, brought to you by Anna John Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That is 1-800-747-3733. Market opens in a few minutes from now, and the NASDAQ futures up 100 points, Dow futures up 75 points.
All right, Woody. Man, you're getting all the business stuff. I want to thank Baldy for joining us and talk a little bit about the draft and everything else that's going on. It's going to be fun next week and find out what happens to everybody, who slides down, who moves up. There'll always be a surprise to go in the first round, and all the guys at NFL Network and ESPN are going to be upset because, wow, that was a reach and wasn't a reach to them. I always love that when they tell the team they reached on somebody. They're going, we liked them a lot. We do this full time a little differently than you do. So, and then we sit back and see how everybody works out. Anyway, appreciate Baldy coming on to be with us a little bit and talk about the importance for him, man. He's with me. 130-43, man. You got to find some players. You got to find some players. No question about that. All right, so we've got all that. And Heat, Hornets tonight as well in Charlotte. Yeah, here we go again. I know what you're thinking, 9 versus 10 in a playoff and a play-in. And then if you win that game, you're not done. You still got to wait and see who wins the 76er Orlando Magic game, and then you'll play the loser of that game. And then if you win both these games, which the Heat can win both these games, they could get blown out or they could win this game. But if they win both, they'll open with the Pistons next week in the playoffs. So
you're gonna have to get more specific with your pick here, because this is where we like to get your pick. So it's a 5.5-point spread. Charlotte is obviously favored. Yeah. The Heat are plus 180 on the money line if you think they're just going to win outright.
Oh, man.
Tough call, huh?
Yeah. Basically, same records. One game apart on the record. Miami's won 3 of the 4 matchups.
You got Bam at 21.5 points. That's his total. LaMelo Ball is at 22.5.
Hey, listen, Bam's got to show up tonight. I mean, I appreciate
Tyler Hero at 21.5.
Appreciate the defense, but Bam and Tyler need to show up.
Because both of those guys aren't going over 20. Con Knipple at 19.5.
Yeah, he's had a good year.
Brandon Miller at 19.5.
Yeah,
a couple of good young players.
Boy, this thing might be 140, 130 tonight, huh, Woody?
Well, Joe, the over/under is set at 229.5. So they are expecting some scoring in this game. Yes.
Heat get a win. We're not talking tomorrow about their season being over, and then we're bashing the team and the way it was structured and got to go out. They definitely need, hey, Bam comes out and says, we got too much experience to be in this situation as a 10 playing 9 seed. Bam. No, you don't. You can talk about all the experience you want, and all the guys got to play a whole bunch of basketball this year. You don't have a star guy out there, man. You don't have a top dog, and you desperately need one to take over games like this one tonight. There's no question about it. Hey, we got more stuff to get to here, man, as we're moving on. Of course, the Marlins and Braves, again, game 2 of that. After 10-4 win last night, we're not done, though. Kyle Krabs, host of Locked On Fins and NFL analyst for A to Z Sports. We're going to talk a lot about this Miami Dolphins team and the draft coming up next.
The Joe Rose Show is presented by Loctite Windows, Doors, and